here at just after 11 o'clock, really. It started when we went off in the morning. Wow, what a reversal for stocks right across the entire board. It is the NASDAQ that leads right now, 1.6% to the downside so far. 1% for the S&P here, about 0.8 for the Dow. Everything else kind of there or thereabout. We did have a bit of a move back down there for Bitcoin. Ethereum was up about 3%, gave all that back to flat on the day. Yeah, what a difference a couple of hours makes here. Here is the S&P. It's tough to see there behind the position board, but at the bottom, that's energy stocks still in positive territory, with crude oil still in positive territory as well. Some of the material stocks as well still green on the day. But that's it. Look at the rest of this board. Yeah, completely the opposite of what we saw this morning. The entire thing was green this morning. Now back to the red in a big way. It's tech that leads. Healthcare here all negative now. DVA, the only one, up 1.3%. Industrials kind of kicked it off as well to the downside. GNRC was the first to go red. It remains the worst off, 4%. 3M, 2.7%. There's a few that are still positive, but yeah, industrial stocks also feeling a little bit of pressure. Communication services, consumer staple names also back in negative territory. Again, otherwise, outside of energy and material stocks, we would be a lot worse at this point. So there was really no significant catalyst. Remember, we got that jobs number at 8:30 this morning. That was actually better than expected. 315,000 on the non-farm payrolls for August versus 300,000 expected. But that was down from more than 500,000 the prior month. So still a beat, but maybe not as good as expected. So there you go. Red board to start. Hope your afternoon is going well as we head into the final couple hours here of trading before the long weekend. Remember, the show is back on Tuesday. No show Monday. I will not be here. I'm on vacation next week, so I hope everyone has a great week. Let's get into a little bit of a review. There was a ton to talk about this morning. So many opportunities after that number came out. Remember how positive everything was? There was a huge move to the upside right across the board. What a reversal, as we said. Sean's going to kick things off here with a look at one of his trades.
Go below to join us at Day Trade the World. So hit that QR code if you didn't hear what I was talking about there, Day Trade the World. Look, today pretty easy again. We stick with the same story, and the reason why I'm doing this back-to-back days is because it's kind of the same story one more time, and that was AMD, right? Off the open this morning, although the market was up. You know, we still really didn't believe in that. There's that 84 short that we wrote down on the sticky note. Brad asked me, what does SS mean? Short sale. There it is. So we short sell this all the way down. We indicate that level that we liked. We short sell that back down in, right? Then we come in and we just start getting it out on the way down. But we notice, and why I've highlighted these, I hope they're showing up on the screen, why I've highlighted these in blue over here and in this area over here is because finally, you know, I run this all the way to the downside, and then it was like yesterday, it was like we kept trying to go long, like we had shorts initially, and then as the market fell back in like it's doing right now, you can see on the NASDAQ, we've now fallen back down to 12,100 and actually turned quite negative on the day. So as we hit the short, we have to capture some profit because, again, the market was pretty up today, and we know that, hey, for once, the market can bounce around. It can actually stay green, can it? So just in case, we cover. But then we're like, okay, let's go long. We want to make sure that if there is a move back like there was yesterday, that we don't stand in front of a falling sword. We actually wait for some kind of levels to develop. And I know this is a big level here, but we saw these bottom wicks happen at that time, about 81, 81.50. So what we wanted to do was start some baby long positions in here, and that worked. It got us back up to VWAP, where we started getting out about 82. So they're not huge profit takes on the long side. This is where the money came in the second time. So as we drop back down in, what we wind up doing, and it's too bad I can't extend this out. The reason why is this is just a tweet that I put out, so I can't pull the chart back. But yesterday's midday at the close, the bottom was 81.25. So what we wound up doing is take that 81.25 as some support. So we go long down there at 81.25 because we've already seen it hold once. That's the key, right? Yesterday we kept taking bids when we didn't see the levels hold. We just went back to past information. Now today, at about 9:45 or so, these 8150s were bottoms. So we're like, okay, we could test that because we've already bounced up. When it came back in, those were long areas. And this is the key. We're going long here. 8150s we're starting at. That's that 8130 or so. Our out's going to be like 81 flat. The benefit of all of this is that is going to be a 50-cent hit if we lose, maybe even a little bit less than that. But look what happens when the upside comes in. This is 81 long. This out up here is 83.60, and we punch long when we start going back up to the upside there. So multiple trades, multiple ideas here. Get the long once we find support. Anyways, take it up. Let it sort of barcode again here, right? That's our last little piece out of this long. Then, all of a sudden, we break this level. We sense that there's a problem with the NASDAQ. Oh, boom, then it comes right back down. You can see where AMD is now. We start the short at 82, right? You have AMD right now breaking through 80. So this chart doesn't extend down. We actually wind up getting out at about 80.50 to the downside. But notice the weakness again in the market. Breaking below VWAP, breaking below that resistance, that support level. That's where we take the short at 82. First out 70, next out in the 50s. That's 50 cents. We wind up taking about $1.50 on the last piece. But hey, the reason why I talked about this today is stick with the names that you're comfortable with. We know about AMD. We've been shorting it all week, right? So here it is again. Then learn from our mistakes yesterday. Instead of just going, like getting out here, going long, 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 and then eventually punching out at the bottoms, let there be a bottom. Then go back in. So, a couple ideas, one short, one long, well, multiple longs, but the long idea there, and the one clean short here, that's now given us about $2. So it's AMD, I like it, and it's your trade of the day.
Maybe the best example from today of two-way action. We get strength initially, and then right back down to the downside so far, not only for the overall market, but chip stocks in general. Under pressure. In fact, here comes day lows right now for the overall market, but all of those were on that this morning. Make sure you grab that every day before you come then and check us out at 8:30. We send that out right to your inbox now. All you have to do is sign up, use the QR code there on screen. Sign up with your email address. You get it every morning in your inbox for free. It was all about chips this morning. We were discussing, remember yesterday, going back to this whole Chinese export story that came from the U.S. government. It's typically the Chinese government that comes up with these ideas, but this time it was the U.S. government saying that AI-specific chips not going to be able to be exported to China. There was a whole bunch of analysts that came out then with reasons and possible workarounds that this might not be an issue going forward. However, there was also a ton of downgrades this morning on the entire group, price target cuts on the entire group, as well as individual names. And then you add the jobs number on top of that pushed the markets sharply higher initially on that beat for the non-farm payrolls. And we said, okay, overall market move, maybe this catalyst gets pushed aside, but ends up being the right direction, downside for some of these chips today.
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully everyone's having a great day. We're back in action.
Let's go.
And PXMD is going nuts. I sit back at the desk, and you guys saw me for a quick second, and I was like falling asleep here. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I'm like, whoa, look at this market. Look at this move. I was like, Prad comes on, and literally, we get the free fall. And PXMD going for the high a day. I'm trying to trade this. I'm trying to short this. It's chopping around. It's chopping me up. Not good. That last bottom punch, I thought we were going. We weren't. Part fill on the way out. I'm like, oh God, okay. Let me just get out of this one and avoided this move there. That was nasty, man. But, I'm thinking that we get maybe some over-unders going. I don't know if we're going to close at the high a day. Like, is this thing actually going to go nuts? I guess place your bets. But, yeah, this thing's going nuts, and this is kind of what I'm watching right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, so what's up? I actually have a low flow runner here a little bit. I have this AUR on Microsoft and Apple bio rumors. So I actually took this long at 236 right there on that first halt. I mean, obviously you can't get it before that news pops up, and then on the reopen, it actually comes back down, and I take it to, I'm still on the same price, 237 bid there. Was able to get it out for 40 cents, well, 30 cents, sorry, up to 267. Let it fall back down, and then now, as it tried to go back again, we took another fill at 258. So we have a low flow. It's not really low flow, but an actionable name here on some buyout rumors with Microsoft and Apple. So that's another name that we can, of course, cover, and we will be covering here on that closing show. All right, well, I'm here for some fun, and Meta is buckling up right now. You know, and I think I should be the one that's getting buckled up because we have a decent position here in Meta. Trying to play that short. We got kind of punked again because it was just coming down. It took 160. I thought this was a freight train like that 140 level that we talked about. What are we talking about here? Rally over tech leads. Okay, good. So now we can talk about that because this is a major tech name. Here's Meta coming right into 160 that we've seen before. And I was like, you know what? Very similar to that NVIDIA trade. Why not have this thing get hammered all the way to the downside? So we did take that 160 fill. We've averaged into it. I really want to give this to 161. I'm hoping we can do that and we don't get stopped out here before, like, well, we'll get stopped out at 161, but I'm hoping we're able to get something out before we retest back up there. This might be a wrong play. We might have just punched the bottom, which would suck, but, you know, that's I think it's a risk worth taking. Again, I don't think that there's anything about holding into the weekend or anything like that. Honestly, I mean, the way this market's been going, we were down 1.8% to begin the week, to begin the day, and now you're adding on to that. This is a horrible week for the NASDAQ. I could see some covering because people are short right now and they may want to cover heading into the weekend. I can see that happen, or I can see the same thing, just continue the pressure on some of these longs. Like people that were buying dips, I mean, they were caught this morning. I mean, are they caught still? I don't know. Just looking at the market and the way we've been here in the afternoon leading up to today, most of them have sold off. We did get a late rally yesterday, so we are keeping our eye on that. It's just funny how I was going long here, Meta, and we actually were able to make money long on Meta today, so everything was all good. We tested again in here, nothing really about 164. As soon as that broke, it was see you later. That's a keystroke on an order that we had, but we waited for it to go. We probably should have hit this break right there, 161.50 when it came back up, but that's kind of what I'm trying to do now, is trying to hold on to this short, see if it can, keep going down. That's the 50 period. It's respected that pretty good. That's 160.75. So yeah, we're gonna have to make a decision when it gets there. But for me, Meta, I'm short right now. We just crushed AMD short. You saw that trade. So back and forth there. Let's just wait to see what Meta does up at that 161. This could hurt if the market continues to go up, but let's put our money where the shorts have been here into close and see if we can get a little print back down through 160 here.
We were talking about, we saw when we came back on that sector board, Lululemon jumping off the page there as one of the only still in positive territory and having a pretty good day. Let's be honest, we're up 6.7%. Even with what the market is doing right now, coming back into 310. That being said, earnings beat, great report, decent forecast even going forward. There wasn't much of a trade here this morning right out of the gate. If you were looking on the long side, I mean, it tested highs, failed miserably, has been kind of grinding to the downside, but still obviously higher on the day.
Why did I just push? Oh, go ahead. You want to take that? I was just.
Yeah, sure. No. So just not to repeat the same things, but guys, PXMD wants the high a day. Made another high a day. Not sure if it actually broke that 650. Didn't have my afternoon espresso. It's showing me here on the chart that 657 is the high, but I think 650 didn't break unless it just broke for like a split second and then size came on. We're getting selling that's coming in now, but I kind of missed that short. I didn't think that we actually broke there. But yeah, this thing's chop central. Just make sure there's very small windows of edge, like from my perspective. And then if it's not flushing, assuming you want the short here, if it's not flushing, like you gotta be very careful with this one. Slippage is definitely there, and you might get stuck and flipped on the other side there. But yeah, man, this fall off was just kind of crazy. Lululemon, interesting because, you know, we thought going into today that 320 was going to hold. And I kind of gave the visual, right? Like, you know, maybe it does this sideways action, which it did, then gave the dip towards 320, didn't have it. And I was like, well, you know, the overall market, it's not, I thought maybe if we get it over here, we continue to run. But, you know, had that dip. And then once we broke through 320, it was just kind of a slow downtrend, you know, with the rest of the market. It's not as, it doesn't look as extreme as some of the other names here, like, you know, like Meta, AMD, everything kind of just falling off. But yeah, kind of interesting there. You know, thought there was potential, but kind of glad that I stayed away from that one.
All right, I was just messaging the wife there. No, thanks for covering that, Luca. I actually made the mistake. I meant to get more short on Meta, and I actually wound up punching out of 20%. So thank God it was only 20% of that. And we punched out, like, there's no way. Like, I got short there and then basically got out for flat right there. So that kind of sucked because now it's come back in. It's okay. I mean, it's only 20 cents difference, but thanks to Luca for that one. And then as I punched out, I didn't reload it because I was saying, well, let's, you know, now that we punched out, let's wait for 70s. But we just did punch out by accident at 53 off of a 59 reload. So, oh man, we take 6 cents there, but whatever, that's fine. I just want to talk about that. You mentioned there on Lululemon, so let's go quickly over in there, Brendan, before we look at anything else. Still up that 6%, but obviously fades down with the rest of the market. It's making an interesting bottom here at 312. I should have went over, instead of like me always being addicted to these tech names. By the way, I'm in Okta right now. You can see that short. That's $1.50 in the money. Yesterday we smoked Okta. We had a $5 winner on that name. Right now we're gonna hold that for $1.50 in the money. Let's see where we can go with Okta again. And I'll review that, you know, when it's time. But right there, this bottom, look at that, coinciding right here with some of that get up yesterday that we had off earnings, right? So we rip up there, sort of dabble around, hit that 330 high. There's no way a name's gonna hold up when the market kind of falls like that, but I still like Lululemon. It's still at 6.5%. They beat absolutely everywhere. So for me, is there a trade here this afternoon? You know, maybe. I mean, the green again is the 200 period, the 50 period's this purple, and green is VWAP. So as we look there, you know, we got to get above some levels. I'd like to think above 319 maybe could be something, but to be honest with you, Lululemon's not really in my wheelhouse right now there, Brendo.
Just having a look at Kohl's here. I saw a couple of people still discussing KSS. Trying to turn back to the upside here. Remember, they got that, if you missed it, there's a $2 billion offer on some of their real estate. So some of the store real estate, I guess, they were talking about a $2 billion offer on that. Bed Bath & Beyond, however, we were discussing in the pre-market a little bit this morning, ends up being a choppy mess. We're not really doing anything, down almost 5% though at day lows, despite some positive talk from Jefferies analysts this morning.
All right, I was just, BBBY, yeah, so I was just talking with the producer there. Okay, BBBY, let's just go quickly here and have a quick look at that. All right, so, you know, again, Luca, like, what price were we bidding again? Do you remember? You don't remember. 815. It went down to 818 right there again. So for me, I've missed it. I actually didn't have my order there anyways, but just to prove a point, didn't go down to 815 again. Look, I think Bed Bath & Beyond continues to be a buy anytime you get down here. I mean, even right now, I mean, every time you get down to this $8 mark, we bump back up. We got to 8 the first time today, although that didn't happen. We figured that bottom was 818, 817. We double checked that on eSignal. Boom, back up there to 870, right? Then the fall comes back in. It hits that exact same bottom again. That's the same bottom again. Boomed it up to VWAP. Only 840 that time because these lines have come back down. So, you know, now you're in the same area. I think you leave it alone until you get closer to $8 and you just hope to get that move again. So you take that. The reason why I was at 815 was if it breaks back down 8, that's 15 cents worth of a hit. And I thought we could get back to 850 at least. And then some of those highs right there in the pre-market of 870. And that's exactly what we did today. So, hey, Bed Bath & Beyond, I feel like it's still a buy down here. I mean, it's respected this $8 level a while. This only goes back a couple days, but if we actually zoom back here, you can see all the way back into into mid-August, where 850 held, and now 8 basically flat is holding again. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think this is a great strategy to do inch overnight or to swing off of $8 because you could come in tomorrow and the next thing you know, these names are, this is a one-day chart, this is back down to $5. I mean, that could be the case. But I think as long as you can control your risk and the market's open, you have the 50 period right here at 806, plus we have some of those bottoms that we already talked about right here. I like the long around this area. And honestly, it's not even an issue about the news or anything that comes out. I think I like the long at $8 with an out of 8 or like 8.15, like I was saying, little shy of 8. Get out if it breaks 8. You can give or take a couple pennies on that if you want. But for me, I like that trade. And I think as a day trade, it sets it up and it really limits your risk, right? So I don't know. That's, you know what I mean when I'm saying that, Luca? Like, it's a danger spot to take Bed Bath & Beyond shares at $8, hold it until Monday, and then get a story come out, and then you're down 30%, right?
Yeah.
Some of the trades we talk about on the show are specific to 4 p.m.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And people even asking, PXMD, like long swing over into Monday, into Tuesday. So Monday we got the holiday. Keep in mind, from a day trade perspective, when we talk about these things, it's like, well, I think this could go here, this could go there. I kind of understand the risk. Once we go overnight, I have no idea. Like, we could get a gap, we could get news. BBBY kind of holds up. Like, you're looking at the chart, it's bouncing off that 8. It had that 850 level from last time. You can pull up the daily and see. You can pull up before the run and see, like, that is the level. But you hold this over the weekend, long, short, anything can happen. Things can come out. You don't know what's going to happen next. Especially for me, when I'm quantifying my risk, it's always from a day trade perspective. But yeah, when you get these levels that hold up very nicely, I mean, I'm looking at this from like a 10-minute perspective, and it's just like you got the drop, then it's like dead, 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 rally, dead, dead, but it's bouncing, right? It is bouncing off that 8, and it's very clear. If it breaks 8, you get out, and if it bounces, you take what you can get. Sometimes the market gives you 30 cents, sometimes 50 cents, whatever it is, just kind of pay yourself, right?
All right, let's talk Chinese names here. 1.3% still for Pinduoduo. I mean, I say Chinese names, but PDD is the only one that matters today because the rest are very red, including Baidu, JD.com, all to the downside. But here's Pinduoduo at day highs, essentially, or trying to get back to day highs, up 1.3% on the launch of this new US-based website today. So PDD doesn't seem to care the market's selling off too much.
PDD had that 72 top, right? So let's go over that quickly. I mean, I'm still watching this. Like, come on, Meta. Like, you just go down. It's dancing in this area. I can't make money if the market doesn't move. All right, so PDD. I almost said PDT there, pattern day trading. But PDD there, it's hit the 72 a bunch of different times, and now it wants to stay above it. The fact that it's above it in this destruction there, Brendan, I think you're right. I'm going to call the market destruction. The market's not really getting destroyed. It just feels like that in the way that's moved down right now. But all right, so here's PDD right now. Like, look at this. As the market goes down, PDD stays high, right? And it's right here at 72.50, 72.60. So I like the trade, and honestly, instead of going short 72, I think you just respect the 72 longs. And as long as you're there at 72 long, then I don't really see an issue at all at this point. So, this to me, hold 72 or bust. I'm fine with that. VWAP is down here at 71.50. It's been pretty strong. So, if there are any Chinese names, I can't talk about going long too much now because I don't think the market's going to head back up, and it has to break above this 50 period before I really like the longs. But if you're going to dig into something, I think PDD just showed us its face down there. Big move to the downside early, and then it just held it. And I don't know, man, they're entering the U.S. market now. That's a good thing, I think. And, I would say it's all skies clear for PDD now that we're above that 72. It's been a key level, and it's continuing to hold. Excuse me. So I believe PDD should be bought anytime it dips near that 72.
I just want to say quickly, Josh J, thank you for the super chat. Happy Friday to you as well. And hopefully, I see there you're saying cheers. Hopefully, you're drinking ice cold beers. For me, it'll be ice cold MGDs going into the long weekend. And yeah, PDD, we're actually talking about that this morning, and we had the 72 level, everybody looking at it, that pop, that resistance level of 72. And here's the thing, resistance turns to support, right? So it's like now that it is above that level, it looks like, I mean, mind you, you got a little bit of chop, but you got VWAP right here. Looks like it is holding that level. So, the thing that I look for is, if this cannot break a certain level so many times, I will try the short. But if abort the short, then the long can't be wrong. So I mean, if it holds that level, it kind of looks good. The more that it tests, then when it finally breaks, usually means it's a better break in general. So for the most part, that 72 level interesting, and yeah, I'll be curious to see where will this thing go from a daily perspective. Will it continue? Will it have multi-day runs, or will it kind of fade off and just be like a slow mover?
Yeah, back to Brendo, I guess, or no?
FUTU popped up, another Chinese name, obviously. Futu, little online education name, popped up a little bit earlier. Another volume alert just went off there. So some of the other ADRs doing a little bit of volume as well. But also oil back to the downside there as we wrap up the pit session for the week, but down. I mean, significantly from the highs. Remember, in the pre-market this morning, crude was up almost 3% at one point. So unbelievable reversal right across the board here, depending on what you're looking at. Pax Medica, as well as Luca was talking about there, PXMD, still the crazy one today so far.
Yeah, the PXMD. Did you want to talk about that trade that you had early on that one? I mean, we were sitting here and I was like, oh my God, Luca's in PXMD. Like, who is this guy? Yeah, nice trade early on that one, Luca. Why don't you go over that?
Yeah, sure. So the morning trade, obviously, that $6 level over under. Hopefully you guys had it, man, because that was pretty clean. Break the level, come back down. And obviously, collecting my base hits maybe a little bit too early because I wanted that $5 level. But, I'll pay myself every time. And, sitting back at my desk, I said to myself, this is a gift because now we're back above 6. We're getting more opportunity to the long side, to the short side. Who knows where we're going? Somebody in the chat was saying we're going back to the IPO price. I think IPO price, initial price being that 650 level. And we did touch it, right? We did touch it and quick rejection off that level. So I think this thing's going to provide opportunities, and I really want to see this thing go parabolic and go up. If we can break 650 and get to like 758, that would be absolutely incredible because there'll be lots of opportunities on both sides for this name. As you can see, guys, I was trying to hammer the short here, and I'm taking the shorts in spots that make sense to me. And if it doesn't work, I just get out. That's what works for me with these small caps. Take my shot. It should work. I think it should work. It doesn't work. I get out, reevaluate. So that's the strategy here. Kind of chopped around, but the damage is not too bad. Yeah, if this thing continues to make new highs, the worst thing for both sides of the trade is if it just kind of chops around, does nothing, doesn't go down, doesn't go up. Then it's like, okay, well, what are we doing here? I mean, we got to make money, right? Go up, go down, make a decision there. But yeah, definitely very exciting. 63 million shares traded today, so the volume is there. Just kind of interesting to see that the spread at times is like 5, 6 cents, 8 cents. So sometimes you get these small caps that come into play. They do a lot of volume. There's no spread, and they have a certain setup. And then sometimes you have small caps that come into play. They do like a little bit less volume, less liquidity, and the spread opens up. So just understand, like that it's a different trade altogether if you're scalping it. So apply different type of risk metrics. That's what I tell myself to help myself control risks on these things because yeah, it could really get away from you. And if you're on the wrong side and you're trying to get out and you're kind of limit order, just crossing 5 cents, maybe you miss the fill and you're like, oh man, okay, like what's going on here? So yeah, but yeah, definitely interesting to see. And yeah, we'll see if we break that $6 level right now.
Is that it? Brendan's out of here? Yeah. Did he say bye? I didn't hear that part. Oh no, he's just out of here. Okay. All right, see you, Brendo. He's out of here. All right, no more Brendo today.
Vacation,
have a safe trip and be well.
Care.
Yeah. See you, Brendan.
That's it. So that makes sense. That's why when I pass it to him, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here, and yeah. And then I stop and I look, and it goes to Brendo, and he's just like lost for words. And I was like, it makes sense. 5 minutes away from vacation. What can you say? He's in vacation mode. That's amazing. Hopefully he enjoys the week off, and yeah, we'll be here enjoying the action. And I'm looking for a market bounce right now. I'm looking for a bounce. I'm long AMD 8006, and where are we? We're 50 cents in the money actually, so that's not bad. That is not too bad.
All right. Yeah, no, that was a good one there. All right, so now let's see what happens here. Meta, we average into that short. We're going to see where it goes now. Takes down 161 or close enough to that, maybe even before then. I was actually right here. I'm going to cancel that. It needs to go to 161 right now. So let's just wait to see if that can take out 161. I mean, it was really close. I was debating, like, we're above this. It's just, do I want to give this short up? That's... like where is going to be a spot where, we know that we're going to be wrong. It might just be a 161 break back up to the upside. I want to try to give this a little bit of room to breathe here on that level. So yeah, 160.70 there. I don't know. 30 more cents is fine. We're short at 160.16. I mean, it'll be about $1 worth of a hit here, if it does come out. So I'm gonna have to get this to break back down through 160. But yeah, that's. Didn't expect it, man. I thought this 160 would break, but now look, now we are above the 50 period here on the NASDAQ. So yeah, not great, and I don't know, maybe this does get squashed out right here. We do have Tony coming up at 2:45, so that's going to be good now. Brennan's gone, so we'll try to break the news here as it happens, and that's about the best we can do. So right now, 48 minutes ago, Apple had some smartphone discussions there. But the thing is, I love to go, they're just the worldwide leader, apparently, according to Barron's here, taking the lead as people switch, like I did, over to the iPhone. But for me, it had nothing to do with the phone itself. I actually love the Pixel. I don't know. What do you have, anyways?
I got the iPhone.
You have an iPhone?
I actually had an old iPhone, like super old. It was like 6 years. I didn't have a camera. I couldn't take pictures.
You didn't have a camera?
No, because it was broken. It just broke. And I'm like, I don't need a camera. It's all good.
That's real old.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Send pictures to my friends of all the espresso I drink and just kind of promote espressos around the world. But yeah, no, I got a new one now, so it's all good. Got the pictures going, and yeah, lots of fun. No reason for it, like iPhone, Samsung. To me, they're all the same.
Yeah, no, to me they're all the same too, and that was a good. Experience for me going back over to Android. And my first Apple iPhone I ever bought was the very first one. So I was Apple for a while, then I switched over. I went to the OnePlus, and then back over now to Apple. So shout out to all the Apple holders there, or iPhone users, iOS, I should say. But Apple's still down less than the market, so it is relatively strong. Like I said, I mean, you're bouncing off. I mean, maybe it was the Apple sort of turnaround there at 155. We hold that, bounce that back to 160, and then you hit that short. This is just a 20-minute chart. So on a 1 minute, there it is right now. I mean, whether or not it holds that bottom or not, you are at, again, another level. Like, you could just keep shorting all the way up here. Yesterday, we had that rip your face off close, right? So let's just go over to Meta quickly, because that's the name that I'm in. And we will talk about Okta for sure. So yesterday into the close, look, this is that bottom. Maybe I should have looked at this, but I did look at it. So 160 held, right, yesterday. But today it did it. This 160.30, it didn't hold today. So when we crashed through there, that was, to me, sort of the sign that, hey, maybe there is some more weakness coming in the market. I'm hoping that is going to be the case. But yesterday, Meta ripped off up $5 from that bottom that was put in at 1 o'clock. So if we go forward to today, here's that bottom again. I don't know why these lines are doing this, but here's that bottom right here again, right now today at 160, put in at 2 o'clock. So could we rip? I mean, maybe it's telling me where this is going. I feel like it's one of your lines here, like, when you take a picture and you just go, the stock's going all the way up here. Yeah. But I don't know why these lines are doing that. There must be some sort of a print or something happening there. So it's definitely skewing these charts. I apologize for that. But are we able to take this out? Yeah, we are, but we're going to get out if it takes down 161. If you wanted to get a little more, like if you're just sort of building your trade right now, maybe this 161.50 could be an area to look at. I did say, come on, just come back in, Meta. Go for a little jaunt back down to the downside. See, it's happening again right here. I'm going to just right-click, customize here, go over to, oh, that's the wrong spot, sorry. Go into chart data and see if there is a bad print. Yeah, there it is. So there is something happening right there. Today's the 2nd, right? Yeah, so there's a print at 4 o'clock. So that's definitely affecting these things. I'll have to try to get rid of that. But here's my Okta trade today. If I zoom in and then push over, hopefully you can see this. So we take this on just kind of at that point, VWAP was breaking back down. And again, I apologize for all of these lines, but we took that short at 64.80. Wow. There's one out at 64.40. There's another out at 63.80. So that's $1. It does go all the way down to 63.50. It goes down to 63 flat, and then it makes that move back up. So now you're kind of turning back around here on Okta. I'm going to flush the cash on all of this because, now I think it's, no, it's still there. I don't know. It keeps coming back and forth. So let me clear my data on these charts, and I'll get right back to you guys.
Yeah, guys, you know, PXM, I don't know if you hear me in the back here. I'm like, wow, there's no way. Look at this, PXMD, big rug pull. And I was waiting for it to go up. I'm like, okay, wait, let me get myself set up here. And I missed the short, and I actually had the stop in at 6 before, pulled it, was trying to get re-short over here, missed it, and this thing just nukes from 630 all the way down to 670 in the blink of an eye, man, in the blink of an eye. That was crazy, that was fast. And that's the thing with these things, right? These small caps, you have to be on your game. You got to be focusing. You got to be locked in because, you know, here's the thing. It chops around for like what? The past 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you get the move. And then it just does nothing and it kind of stops. So like this is the move. This is hopefully the move that you go for if you're looking from a short side perspective, from a mean reversion. I'm thinking that like, you know, 550 at least gets tested. Just keep in mind that it feels like a lot of people are, you know, trying to quickly take profits and they're not really getting filled. That's kind of what it feels like to me. They don't get filled, then it pops back, then it causes the short squeeze. I still think that 650 level is like the extreme level of interest. And if for whatever reason we get back there, it'll be fireworks, man. It'll be fireworks because, you know, kind of feels like lots of people shorting this level. You know, they get squeezed, we make new highs. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. That wow was for, no, it was, yeah, exactly, K-Lop, yeah, exactly. I'm like, wow, in the back here, that's absolutely insane. But, you know, still holding on to this AMD, and, you know, the bounce seems to be working. The bounce is working. That was a 50-cent win, took some off. Still holding a good portion of the position. I just think that we could get a wick up towards these levels of like 67 area, 80 area. Not too convinced that like we're going to make a run like this much, but I will hold some if we do get there. But yeah, my orders are scaled on the way up. You know, hopefully we get the fill. If not, if we get back down here and we break lows, like I'm just going to have to get out of the position.
Yeah, okay, just looking again at some of these trades. One of that fast-moving trade that we have, please hit the like button, by the way, here, as we're covering. I cleared the cache again. If you are having these experiences, you can go to customization there under chart data, clear data, and we'll hit OK. And I don't know, I feel like these prints are here at 4 o'clock. I don't know why. We're going to get rid of them, though, in a minute. So hopefully that'll just clear out in a couple seconds, and we'll do that. But for right now, there's AUR. That was, again, the Microsoft Apple possible buyout rumor or some sort of a collabo. So when that came out, we halted there. We got out. Now we're just waiting for that to break back down into the downside. So, all right, let's go look at Bed Bath & Beyond. Where are we on that stock right now? Same type of thing. It just, again, we already talked about that. Touching 818, we're going to try to go long if and when it hits certain spots. Right now, it's not hitting anything, so let's look somewhere else. That's not happening right now for Bed Bath & Beyond. What else do you guys want to do? Yeah, thanks, Jason. I mean, there it is right there. Great job, Luca, for filling in, man. People learning a lot from you, so I want to thank you for that one more time here today.
Much appreciated, man.
That's
Much
Bed Bath & Beyond. Let's check out AMD. I mean, so first of all, we did trade Amazon today, by the way. This is going to look pretty choppy, but we were trying to go long on a strong name. So when Amazon came back in here, and you know, again, I think this is right when we went off air. It did crack lower, but then we defended this 130 pretty nicely, and some of our outs were 130.95. You can see some green ticks right here on Amazon. So came back in, hit that long, boom, 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 all the way to the upside until eventually we broke back down below 130 and we got out of one last piece. But here was the long. We thought we could hold above 131. No, we get out, we go long there, get out, go long there, get out, go long, averaged against 130. It worked. We're able to take some profit on Amazon before our last, I think this looks like it might have been 20%. I can't really recall, but our last piece out there for 10, 15 cents worth of a hit as we now come back down in for Amazon. Reason why we went long this name, and again, we talk about this all the time, relative strength. Look at the market, down 1.29%. Amazon still almost green on the day, right? So Amazon remains pretty strong here. And this would have put Amazon about flat for the day at 126.70 or 127. So it's bounced off nicely off some of those bottoms. But as the market came cracking in here, Amazon definitely right there at that level. You see a strong name comes in, and it's just, I can't look at enough, and this is where I need to like employ Michael Noss. If you're listening to this, man, like he always tells me, send me some examples, and he'll build things for me. This is like one of those things where Amazon, you know, is relatively strong. Look at it fall down here, just hitting the 50 period, all the way down, just doot, and then right there, you see this barcoding action, and then the break there of the 50 period. Now, that doesn't mean that, hey, you broke the 50 period, it's going right back to day's high. It's a momentum break. So it's like it keeps hitting, keeps hitting it, then pop. Michael Noss told us this morning that, the golden cross, the 50 and the 200 are like, lifelong trend, analysis, TA moves. Everyone's looking at that. So yeah, when you do get a pop like that, this is what can happen. You get a little bit of an exaggerated move to the upside, and that's worth 50 to 60 cents. And where does it stop? Right back at those highs again. So it's like, some of this stuff, although it's difficult, it's not rocket science, and you just got to be patient and wait for the right opportunities. But there it is right there on Amazon, kind of a missed one. And I'm really debating right now. I mean, I'm going to get out of this short. It looks like we're going to get out of this short. Do we really think this market's going to rally into the close? Because if you do, this could be a hell of a long, man. Breaking through 127.85 right here. That's the top there. That's the top again. You have support down here at 127.35. I kind of like this trade here for Amazon for kind of like a hero long heading into the close. The market's now above the 50 period. This is something that I'm looking at right now pretty strongly with Amazon.
Yeah, I like that Amazon play. Something I wanted to talk about from today actually was KSS. You had the rally into that 31 level, over under 31. The high on this was like 31.04, and then the flush down. And obviously, I covered way too early. But it is what it is. Take the money and run. And then it had that secondary flush down, and this is like the move, right? This is the move. Hopefully, some of you guys had that one from 31 to 30. Nice dollar winner on that. Then it's kind of chop central, and yeah, you could continue to hold. You're never out of the money, if you got that top pick. But one of the things, for myself that I'm trying to get better on, obviously, is having patience and, holding for much longer. But, you get that kind of over-under action. You take the short. You're in the money. Okay, cover some. When it has that pop back to the upside, for me, I'm just like, you know what? I took the size. I had the win. It was good. I'm going to take my money and run. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the trade is done, right? It's running back. It's going to have that consolidation. And look at this. This is like a mini head and shoulders. I don't technically trade off of these kind of 1 minute patterns because I don't even think they're valid. But it is showing you what it's doing, right? You got the shoulder. You got the blow off top head. Volume increases just a little bit. It breaks the high. It cannot continue higher. You have the resistance on the daily that we covered earlier. Then the flush back down and creates the secondary shoulder before breaking that neckline and flushing down. So again, this isn't something that I would say take the short because it's not always going to be like this, right? It's not always going to set up like this. Things are going to be different every single time. But as a scalp trader, I think you take the win, maybe you reload or you hold some unless it gets back to your average, unless it shows you that, okay, now it's not kind of valid anymore, the short is off the table. Then you get the secondary flush down, you cover, and then, okay, hold for the dream if you want. But again, this is a dollar win, and you were in this trade for from 10.50 until 10.56. So it's like a 6-minute trade, a $1 winner, and then you'd have to hold the rest of the day to get an additional, you get an additional 50 cents, maybe $1. So for myself, I love those in and outs. I love the quick trades. As a day trader, I want to be in the market for as least amount of time as possible and make the most amount of money possible. So I love these setups, and that's why for myself they work. I get in, I get out, I make the money. And speaking of something like that, going back to the PXMD here, and somebody in the chat actually was making me laugh. They're like, oh, it only happens all the time. Yeah, I know. It happens all the time, but I love it when I see it because I'm like, wow, look at that, 1 second. Always a fun time trading small caps. But you get these moves. This is like a half a minute move, not even, right? So it's like there's nothing nicer than taking a short at 6:30, call it, and then covering at 580, and you're in the market for 25 seconds, and you made your day. You can make your day, you make your week on that trade, right? So I love those moves, that fast action. That's what I always look for. But man, this thing is actually looking like maybe it wants to run back and hold and go for that 650. So definitely exciting. Maybe we get more fireworks into the close.
Guys, we need to get that like count up, man. 4,000 watching, only 500 likes. I mean, I'm trying to do what the people want. We got Tony coming on here soon. Let's hit that like button and get this going a little bit here. Our meta almost, it basically came back to flat there. We just touched 160.30. We're short, wasn't basically. We're short at 160.17 here, but came back in right there and, was really close to breaking that shelf, what I think anyways, down there at 160.20. So just right there, like I was like, okay, if we could just break this, then for sure we test 160 again back down to the downside. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. But the fact that we didn't do that, I am kind of getting ready for this 160.80 break and thinking that, hey, maybe we just get out if it takes that. Like I'll be upset if it does that, but I don't know if we want to give it up to 161. It's not like it's a hell. You know what? Maybe let's just do that. Let's just wait for 161. Let's wait for that even dollar. We could break this high and then maybe even break that. But I feel like, maybe we'll take out a little bit of pressure if it takes that 160.80. But I don't know. I'd hate for us to get out on that. Like right now, it's just barcoding. The momentum is definitely to the downside here on the NASDAQ. So for me, it's like I want to be short this name. It's down 3% now, and we know how violent it can get when the market cracks. I mean, I shouldn't have to, look at this as an example, right? If the market cracks lower again, which it's not doing, so that's why we're going to lose. But if and when that happens, I do like that move back down. And the thing is, it's really, there goes Amazon. Like, did anyone take that 80 break? Like, it's really bothering me now because I like this long, but I can't do both. Like, I can't sit here and hold short Meta but take long Amazon. It's like, that's the problem really when you're doing this, right? Is like when you're trading the NASDAQ names, which is why sometimes it's better to trade the index. Like I can't because I like this Amazon long here breaking through 120. I mean, maybe we'll just take a small piece, but then I won't make that much money. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I really, really want this market to tank so that I can get some Meta back down in here and watch the market fall apart. But then if I go long, and there it goes bouncing back again. But then if I go long on Amazon, then I'm cheering for a green end, right? So I don't know. I'm going to stick with the short right now until, we do take out that key level on Meta. But that's just something that we're looking at. I know it is decisions. Market won't tank. Yeah. Oh man, that's tough, man. It already did tank quite a bit, and I don't mean. Yeah, we use the word tank here often.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like I don't need the market to do this. Like I only need it to go down 50 points or not even here on the NASDAQ. Like get back into this level and I think Meta will fall down and then I just want to see what it does at 160. This is all, I agree. Like the real shorts, like if you're putting on real, like I have a real position on now, but if you're putting on something and waiting for a tank, you want to do it when markets are extended to the upside. You never really want to push the envelope at the bottom of the market. So that's why I'm well aware of the position I'm in and I have my outs. So it's not going to be like, oh my God, this is the end of my career or anything like that. It's just, let's get a little bit of a move down. If you're telling me that you don't think the market can go down 0.5% from here, back down to the lows, then, we haven't really been watching the last little while. So let's just wait to see what the NASDAQ does. And I understand that a lot of you out there are going to be green traders and some of you are going to be red, right? And so let's just wait to see where this goes. I'm playing off some resistance levels that I think are here into this pattern, plus a bias to the short side for the close. So I like Meta short. It's coming back in a little bit. Maybe we'll take a little bit off, but I'm hoping for this tank down to 160, and here we go. So now we're trying to take this level out. So we're right here right now. I'm gonna bid out a little bit here, see if we can't there. We just took a little bit out because we've been down here, taking off some pressure, and by a little bit, that was actually exactly 10%. So I can't stop hitting the keys for getting out of 10%. But the next little level will be at this like 160.10 area to get out of another 10%. And then let's hold like 80% for this break one more time. See if we can get back down below 159. If we can do that, 160. If we can do that, look, there's space. There's space down here. This is not like an NVIDIA trade of 140 that we haven't seen in a while. This is, we've been here for Meta before. We can take down new lows. So yeah, sure, I am talking up my position, but I have it short. I'm also telling you about the dangers involved with this one. But before I throw it over, because I don't know, as soon as Farhad can say in my ear if we're ready to go or not. Are we ready? Are we ready for Tony? Okay, so anything you want to talk about right here quickly?
No, I can't take any time away from the man himself.
All right, let's go over. Tony, do we have the bumper? Let's hit the bumper. Do we have that bumper? Tuesdays with Tony? That's Friday, that's why. Okay, so Tony, how are you doing today, my friend?
Hey, Sean. Hey, Luca. So great to be back. Thanks again for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on. Happy Friday. Looks like I thought it was going to be a rally heading into the close today, seeing how far we dropped on the Qs on all the indices in the past couple of days. But looks like reverse again to the downside heading into the close today. The markets have taken. Oh, there it is. You see
There
that?
it is. I love that. I love that. You got to love that. That's the thing.
Exactly. No, thanks so much for working on that, by the way. It looks great. I think it puts me it makes you look pretty nice, better than I could hope. But yeah, NASDAQ today now down quite a bit, down 1.25%. Had a strong jobs number earlier today. I think the market was simply trying to find any reason it could to rally. I don't think the number today was quite that, unfortunately. A strong jobs number, 315,000 versus 300,000 expected. Unemployment ticking up just a little bit as well. But still a very strong labor market we see in the States. I think giving Powell more reason to continue at 75 basis points over in September. We'll have to see what happens with the inflation number coming in a little bit in next couple of weeks. But yeah, markets today still red. We're nearly down to where we were at yesterday's lows. Quite surprising for me. I thought we'd rally into the close at how far the market has just collapsed in the last couple of trading sessions here. We're down about 8 or 9% on the Qs, and I believe 6% on the S&P. So I was expecting for a move downwards. I think it happened a bit too fast. I think at this point it's a little bit oversold on the markets, especially yesterday. If you take a look at it was MongoDB as well as Okta. I think Okta actually beat earnings, but they talked about having some integration issues with the Auth0 merger that they did about a year or so ago. MongoDB as well, mixed guidance, down 25%. And I remember earlier a viewer was asking, I think sometime last week when I was on the midday show, how would you do an earnings play? I think in terms of interpreting earnings, it has everything to do with how the market environment is in general. I'd imagine that if MongoDB and Okta reported earnings something like 3 weeks ago when the markets were still high, the 25% loss and the 33% loss respectively could have very well just been like a 10% loss, which would have been like regained throughout the trading session. Instead, you have this monstrosity of just collapsing, almost 40% on MongoDB, of not even that bad in earnings, in my opinion. But now we're pretty much back to where we were during the lows of June for MDB and Okta. We're now pretty much at multi-year lows. Try to rally a little bit today, but again, weak markets. I'm surprised it's even holding 5.5% in the green. I think this was way oversold, down 33%. If you told me Okta was down 33%, I would have thought the news or the catalyst would have been some sort of accounting fraud, but it was just a mixed earnings release, and it just surprised me there. So at the moment, I feel as though the markets are way oversold. If you take a look at the dollar index, usually this moves inversely with the markets. You can see that the dollar supremacy remains at the moment, and it's just factoring in for the fact that Jay Powell is probably the most hawkish out of most. The dollar and Jay Powell are going to be having the higher interest rates coming next couple of months, and we're seeing a much stronger dollar pricing against other major currencies. So I think that implies a much weaker stock market. But that being said, I think markets are way oversold at this moment, and I do expect to see some sort of a bounce. Sean, Luca, how are you guys trading today? And I'm wondering where are your plans for next week? Do you see a bounce in this market?
Thank you, Tony. It's funny that you mentioned there about Okta, and yesterday I took a $6 winner on the short side of Okta, which was really nice. Let's see if I can get that trade up for you here. Like I was saying about our charts, they've been a little funny. I am short right now on Okta today as well, on that name, breaking through that 65 level, and yeah, took about a buck there, and now we're going to let this float around. But yeah, you're 100% right now. It's not going to show up yesterday. Look at this move in Okta yesterday. Oh, there it is, all the way to the downside. So we did short yesterday, 64 area as well. And there's that cover, 59, almost near the end of the day. Actually, it was at 1 o'clock. Did we have a later cover? Oh, yeah, that was back and forth there at the end of the day, so nothing happening there. But yeah, shorting Okta. And that's so funny, Tony, that you talk about that, because, like, honestly, these names, even on earnings reports, it's like, I said it actually, I don't know, Luca was on the show here yesterday, but I said, I thought Okta was down 4 or 5%. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, Luca called it up because he had it up there, and it was down 25% or something. And I was like, huh? Like, what's going on? And yeah, you can't get out of the way here. These earnings reports, Tony, are just reasons for them to sell more. Like, whether or not you blow out or not, they're going to pick apart, especially if you're one of these names that, are software as a service or anything like that, starting to get killed. Palantir. Oh, one play that, again, I apologize. I mean, I was listening to what you said, and I don't think you mentioned Snowflake. You did not yet. See, he's ready to locked and loaded on Snowflake. But this was a name that when you were on the show last week, I clearly remember you saying, here's their earnings, a good report all the way up to the upside. They took down 200. They wicked that top up to 206. And look, again, you would think a name that's had decent earnings would be able to hold some of these levels. But since then, you're back down to 180. That's 10% off those highs. Now you're back down to 170 down here. What position so I know you were shorting the whole market. If you were in snow, have you covered, or do you think there's some more downside here? Because honestly, you're not even back, like we could go back down to this 150 area. My opinion on the market, as you asked, I think it's gonna be pretty choppy for next week, but I wait for that September 13th number, Tony, which is that CPI reading. When that comes out, I think we'll see a little bit of a dance happening in the market, obviously, and you could get one of those monster moves one way or the other. So I think we go kind of sideways until the 13th, but with a favor to the short side. Talk to us about Snowflake.
Absolutely. So Snowflake, a name that I paper-handed covered way too early. I saw the fact that on last Friday, when NASDAQ was down 4%, Snowflake was still holding green. And that surprised me. That surprised the heck out of me. And I thought somebody must know something for Snowflake if it's not going down and NASDAQ's down 4%. And so I got spooked. I covered most of it before the weekend. On Monday morning it opened. There was, I think the futures were blood red. NASDAQ was down something like 1.5%, 2% I think earlier, in the pre-market. And Snowflake was still holding 195. And I was just pretty surprised. I was like, there's no going down for this stock. Snowflake is just as strong as can be. It's just holding above 190. But market opened, and then I think people started to realize, okay, the earnings were good, but it wasn't that good. And so we had like a small recovery, I think, on the overall indices, or at least not much of a move to the downside. And Snowflake just collapsed then to 184, 183, and since then it's just been, I think more or less underperforming the market at this point. It goes to show, I think, when you have single stocks, I don't think the traders have reacted to the news as quickly as they should. I feel as though right after the Jackson Hole symposium, Snowflake should have just then been at like 185 or 180. Instead, it just held out 195. So I think with the indices, with commodities, with all these things that are much more actively looked at by institutions, you have a much more immediate reaction to some of the news that's going on. I think with snow, the price action the last couple of days is just a late reaction to what should have been on Friday and Monday, and of course, I should have been holding it longer, obviously. Instead, I've just been broad-based shorting NASDAQ for the most part at the moment. I exited most of my short positions. In fact, I'm taking a long position at the moment on NVIDIA. But besides that, the only short position, at the moment, I think I'm just about long in all my exposures. I'm long the US dollar. I'm short the US dollar, I'm long the Canadian dollar, I'm long the Australian dollar, and I'm long the British pound, just because I think that the US dollar at the moment, it's been way overbought. There's good technical reasons for why, or there's good fundamental reasons, I should say, as to why dollar index is now the highest it's pretty much been, and as far as we can go back for the most part, at least several years at this point. But at the same time, on a technical basis, we are, way oversold on the markets. I believe I am looking for a bit of a bounce, and so, I'm holding NVIDIA. Recently, if you guys heard, I'm sure you guys are aware of the news that, the U.S. demanded that they stop selling some of their high-powered chips to China and Russia over security concerns as to whether or not their, graphics cards are going to be used for military purposes. And so I think that was treated more or less as a missed earnings report. I think NVIDIA was expecting something about the lines of 400 million of sales to be, from those chips to, I don't think they really have much of a business in Russia, or at least not directly, but they do sell a bunch of chips to China. I think that would impact their, earnings. And so pretty much NVIDIA now, you can see it was down something like 8 or 9% yesterday, priced in as a missed earnings, or at least an earnings, guidance downwards. Now down again today, not too surprising given the rest of the market's down. But I think on a technical basis, we've pretty much fallen from 191 all the way to 136. Now trading at a PE ratio of around 44, 45. And I think that the markets are just oversold. In terms of whether or not you want to be long in the markets, I think at this point, you have to be careful about buying a lot of these smaller cap names that have been falling like 90 or 95%. A name that comes to mind, a favorite of mine, Upstart. They've given me a loan. I've yet to pay it back, but I will. So, hopefully that helps their earnings report. But, this stock was something like $401, less than a year ago. All-time high, 401.49. Now down close to 95%, I think 94%. And people are just pricing, and I'd say at this point, the chance that this stock never recovers. If it does recover to where it was, that'd be a 20x gain. But if you want to be long in markets, I would highly recommend just buying strong stocks. Names like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook's a little iffy, I'd say at this point. But names like Amazon, Google as well. NVIDIA, I'd put in that category. Obviously, semiconductors hit very, very hard, down 60%, I'd say, from November of last year. But might not be a bad time to start a position. It's my proxy for a market long. Hedge against my any short positions that I might take. NVIDIA at the moment, I'm favoring a bounce towards the 144, 148 area. Maybe not immediately. Selling covered calls with a 140 strike, each dated for the weeklies. So capturing about a $3 premium on the 140 strike calls. So that's going to be my passive income until we see a bit of a bounce on the markets.
All right, let's go. Siren alert for that one. Wow, dropping some positions there. U.S. dollar weakness, looking for that. Obviously being long the Aussie, being long the CAD. So good luck on that one. And then initiating a position in NVIDIA. I really like that strategy, man. Wait for the market to get absolutely destroyed and then pick up some decent spots. I think if you're going to try to build a longer-term portfolio, I really think those NVIDIAs could be pretty good. I don't know where the market's going to go for the little while, but there it is, man. We'll hit the siren alert there for Tony. So thank you so much for coming through again today with some of your ideas. That was Tuesdays with Tony, but on a Friday. So thank you, Tony, for that one. Again, coming through. And I think what we'll do next time, too, is, put some questions in the chat, and we can ask that. But I know Tony's a busy guy here. So thanks, Tony. The market appreciated you coming through, because guess what else is happening right now? Come on, Meta. Stamp that fail rate on that chart now. Come on, Meta. You can do this, baby. We've just been covering a little bit on the downside. We still have pretty much this whole position, but we did, I shouldn't say that. We have 75% of this position right now on Meta as it's come back in. It's respected a little, look, these were getting out. I told you, look, it just spikes right back up. This is why we're doing this, right? So look, Tony leaves and the market goes back up again. Tony's back on. It's Fridays with, no, just joking. It's Fridays with Tony back on again there on the market. But okay, well, damn you, Tony. Darn it, the market's now going back to the other. See, the market was waiting to hear what Tony's opinion was there, right? The minute that he said he was long NVIDIA, the market started to go back upside a little bit here. So I'm wondering about that, man. I think there's some hidden money on the sidelines following my man's advice over there. But thanks, Tony. Wow. Okay, damn it, cut him off a little too early. Should have had him stay on, but that was some interesting stuff.
The man, the myth, the legend. Hit that like button for Tony, because that was absolutely awesome. And so was that bounce in Meta. I don't know if you...
Did you go long?
I went long.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
As soon as I went long, it just boom, in the money. Guys, look at this chart. I literally went long, and it just flies up. And I was like, okay, these orders to get out were a little bit too aggressive, I guess. But letting some ride here, and this is beautiful. Beautiful way to go into Friday close.
Yeah. Screw your long. I'm short. No, look, that was a good move back to the upside there. It did fall back down. I just added to the position. My out is still going to be the same thing, man. This 161 looks like it's getting more excited now to the upside. That was just a huge move right back into this level. All shorted again. That's fine. What I was explaining when I was getting out there was really the fact that we knew we'd want to get out there at this level because it held. I mean, we got out there live for you. Then I said my next levels would be at 10, so we took some at 10. Then it started bouncing off of 160 and we got out, right? And so we'll put back that extra piece on right there at this level. It did just touch up to, maybe we should have waited for 80s. That would have been pretty nice. But either way, same kind of trade for me. I'm trying to hold anyways for the bigger move. So, 20 cents shouldn't matter that much. Let's see if we can retest those bottoms. I don't know what, again, I'm sitting here looking at the newswire as well. Brendan's left me with that. I don't really see anything hitting. So you can watch out for this 12,160 coming through. Again there on the NASDAQ, trying to take out those highs. You're going to have to break that level there in order for it to go back upside. Just a retest of that high. Now it comes fading back in, right? So, man, that was a little frustrating there because we were getting ready. It was getting ready to break at 159. It didn't really break 160, man. I was sitting here watching it. 159.95, that's not... Like that's not a break for me. So let's see if it can go one more time here. But look at the NASDAQ. It did just take that off there up to the upside. Now here it's coming back in a little bit. So yeah, let's take a little bit more pressure off now as it's coming back down in. I just put a bid on, I just hit bid and it went back up. That happened to you yesterday. I think it was Meta as well. We had that big size. You hit offer to get in front of it and it ran away. I just hit bid to cover some there at 34 and I guess it saw an order and ripped up again. So, you know, the fact that there's, you know, some algorithmic trading and front running and things like that.
Is it possible that the robots think that we know something? Because I'm sitting over here taking educated guesses, and these robots are like, holy, he knows something, let's go away from that order. Yeah, no, it's all fun and games. But guys, that was absolutely solid level there, 160. I said it from yesterday. I was like, if we get to 160 and we break, I'm going short. And then the thing is, and somebody in the chat even said this, they're like, this already went from 160, it wasn't on Meta, but it was like, somebody's like, it had a 7-point move down and you're going to short. And it wasn't to my call on 160, but I was like, you know what? You're right. That sounds like, now that I think about it, and it's like this thing came so far down to the downside, it had the bounce, it's coming down. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it, because like I'm not gonna go short. I feel like if I go short, like at the bottom here, I'm gonna lose. I'm like, I'll try this and risk like 5 cents. I'm probably gonna lose on the trade. And for some reason, it just goes in the money and you get that bounce there. So I'm taking my profits, I'm letting some ride here. And update on the AMD trade as well. AMD long, you know, scaled out over here, and then, you know, still holding the rest, still holding. Just because, like, you know, I'm trying to kind of channel my inner Arun, and I was chatting with him the other day, and before he went on vacation, and he was like, "There's no reason to get out of that trade." He's like, "Why are you getting out of this trade?" I was like, "What do you mean? I'm getting out of the trade because I'm in the money. I got to take the money." And he's like, "No." He's like, "Do not get out of that trade. Hold that trade until you shouldn't be in the trade." And I'm like, "Okay, like, so I'm like, I'll try. I mean, I'll try my best." But obviously, that's why I say all the time, Arun up here and me way down over here. So, you know, trying to get better every single day and, you know, like hold. So I say to myself, on this one, we have the $80 level. If we break 79.80 for whatever reason, that's my out. But if not, I'm going to hold. I'm not really expecting a crazy move to the upside. But if we do kind of break this high, you know, like maybe we touch 81, you know, my target is like 81, 81.20 area. So, you know, if we get there, probably get some out over there and get myself flat and see what we get going into Power Hour, which we are currently in now. 5 minutes into Power Hour, definitely be exciting. And yeah, I don't know if we're going to get a crazy rally into the close or if we're just going to kind of go sideways and then set up for even more selling. I mean, your guess is as good as mine, man. I don't know. What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Short. I mean,
short?
Come on. I mean, that's it. Yeah, I mean, look, so the thing is that I'm not, I mean, this is short in Meta. I mean, so that's, you know, that's why I'm hoping for the market to get short. I can't think of, I mean, we're down 1.21%. I mean, so the reason is there is a bear case here, or sorry, a bull case. We saw what happened yesterday into this is today, but yesterday into the close. Come on, where's the volume? Right into here. Oh, where is it? Oh man, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We had that big move up there yesterday. So, okay, here, just quickly, I'll talk about that in a minute. This just came back into the 40 area, so the reload working. The short, again, like, I just want to see us test some of these levels. Like, we're above the 50 period. Like, I think long if we can break here. Like, I just think we got to break through levels. That's it. Like, if we can break through some levels and clear some of this out, then maybe the you know, those that are betting on the short will throw in the towel. That's all. It's just like, it's coming back into the downside right now. It is 306. We did have a major rebalance the other day. That rebalance was 4.6 billion to sell. So, I mean, it's like, let's just see if there's some more coming today. I think it was a sell imbalance yesterday. It might have been pretty small. Either way, it wasn't super effective. So if anyone knows what this imbalance is going to be coming out with soon today, let us know. But I'm not... The long looks to be right now, honestly, not just because like I'm covering some of these shorts right now. Like, we're not in that much. Like, it's not that bad. I mean, we will get hit, obviously, if it takes out this 161 area. But for right now, our net is fine, but the market is starting to catch some footing now, especially off that 160. I mean, this is why we take it. I mean, this is an E-signal chart. It's going to be a little cleaner for me. Like, I was just looking at this. There's 160. So we came in from there. I thought the break is going to happen to the downside. But the market has stopped, and now it's back up to the upside. So absolutely insane, in my opinion, to hold this against that 161. So we're just going to give it a shot. I mean, we're short here. We're short at 35. I mean, if we wind up losing on this, we'll lose 65 cents or so on Meta. Like that's definitely worth it. It's worth that shot for me to take this step there and see if we can't come back in. So that's what we're doing here on Meta. What else do you guys want to look at here, man? I mean, no idea where we're going to go there. Oh, what you said about channeling your inner Arun, I have to, just because it's a different game, right? You're on equities.
Yep.
So they're going to dance around a lot more than those futures, right? Like
yep.
Arun will take, and so should we all when you're trading the futures, key level breaks, things like that. So he's not scalping as a trader. So I don't want, and me and Neil say this all the time, and it's like trade your book in your style. So that's like a little one piece of advice to you there is that obviously listen when people like Arun are speaking, Brandon, Neil, things like that, and not so much Prad, but those kind of guys, when I'm just joking about that, right? But anyways, when that's happening, it's like take advice. But at the same time, like more fit into your style because
100%.
Yeah, and I think that's super important. But definitely, and then that's what's the benefit of being on a trading floor, right? You actually told the story about working sort of from home and coming in when you could to get the experience with the environment and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to work from home. We kept going throughout the whole time to give the best product to the viewers being live here in the studio. But how much different is that working sort of by yourself as opposed to being in with the boys or in and around traders, sharing ideas and like that? What was that like for you during 2020, 2021, so on and so forth?
It's got I got to say there's pros and cons, right? Like anything else, there's pros and cons. It's really, really nice being in this environment. You got everybody. I say this all the time. It's like you take a loss, you get up, you look over, you got the boys around you. You're like, okay, like it's not too bad. Not a big deal. Obviously being at home, it's you're more comfortable. You're in your zone. There's not that much noise, distraction. When I'm back over there trading and we got the show going, it's kind of loud, and so I'm like I got my headphones in, so I'm kind of locked in. But yeah, both have the pros and cons. I really enjoyed being able to sleep in a little bit. I'm not a morning person, and being able to sleep in just a bit and then kind of come to the desk a little bit later. But I definitely saw improvement in my game, kind of getting up earlier, getting here early, having more pre-market prep as opposed to doing it the night before, because a lot changes overnight, right? So yeah, I mean, it both have the benefit, but coming into the floor is definitely exciting, definitely a lot of fun, and it's nice to see faces. Like, I mean, trading is a very lonely sport, right? You're trying to get better than yourself, better than who you were yesterday, and there's nothing nicer than kind of bouncing ideas off each other, sharing ideas, talking to people. I mean, if I was trading at home, and I still was trading at home now, I don't really know who I would talk to trading about besides like the guys over here, like over text or whatever, because it's like my family doesn't trade. My friends don't really trade, or they don't really day trade, so it's not really the same conversation. So yeah, it's definitely something to improve your game, like be around like-minded people. And going back to what you were saying about Arun, it's like he's got obviously his own playbook that he's developed over the years, getting better, and he's not scalping. And even somebody in the chat is like, Arun is a Jedi master. He is not scalping in and out. And this is the thing. One time Arun, he was sitting beside me and he was watching me trade, master. And I was literally like in and out, in and out. And then he just like looks at me and like I'm done. And I'm like, all right, nice. And he looks and he goes, bro. He's like, you have way too many ideas. Like, you're just doing too much. He's like, you gotta relax. One in, one out, and you're done. And I was like, all right, sounds good in theory, but a little bit harder for me to implement. So I've worked on it.
That's it, yeah.
And but yeah, for sure on the equity side of things, especially off the open, you want to be scalping, recycling shares. But you want to hold, right? You want to hold, which is what I'm doing right now with the Meta position, with the AMD position, and it's killing me because I'm looking at AMD and I'm like 50 cents in the money. Now I'm 20 cents in the money. Huh?
Okay, I was hoping that you had both longs. That's
yeah.
all.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got both longs because this is the thing. It's like we're obviously at the bottom. There was a huge sell-off that recently happened, and now we got like 40, 50 minutes before we close, going into the long weekend. Like, I don't know if we're gonna rip back. I don't know if we're gonna go lower, but all I do know is that these are decent levels that I have. 160, or 80 on AMD. And if for whatever reason we decide to just like rip to the upside and go to VWAP on some like crazy short squeeze of everybody covering, you know, these longs are good. So might as well hold the last piece for those big picture moves, big intraday picture moves, and pay myself a little bit extra, as opposed to just say like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get it out because it went even 10 cents higher. It's like I already took the scalp. And even to, because I'm looking here at PXMD thinking that this thing's going to flush here, but going back to like the example of Meta, it's like I already scalped it out. So if for whatever reason, like, I mean, it feels like I should be getting out 161, 161.20, but you know, if for whatever reason we actually rip, it's like, it's not unrealistic to think, you know, like this would be the close, like over here, it's not unrealistic to think that we can like get to 162, maybe 162.50. So it's like, I might as well just hold the last piece for that. And it's the same ideology with AMD as well. It's like I already took my piece at the top of the range. So why not just hold in case we do run to like, you know, 181.20, 181.50. You know, like I would be surprised if we break through VWAP after that big sell-off. But, you know, working on holding my positions, getting better every day, and taking a piece from what all the traders around me, you know, all their strengths. And then I say, okay, what is your weakness? Because I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take only the strengths, only the good parts, digest them, and try to be the best of everyone, and just you know, come out on the other side like a legend. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Keep you guys posted. You guys are watching my process too, so you know, lots of fun always. And again, hopefully everyone's having a great day.
Yes, sir. Thanks for that. Yeah, and I just wanted to talk about that because there's lots of advice throwing around here, and there are a lot of traders obviously at home wondering what it's like to, you know, to have the experience on a prop floor. And last week we had Rob come through, we had Sean come through earlier. Was Sean this week? I believe he was earlier this week. The weeks go so fast. Like, can you believe it's September right now? Like, it's just so crazy. Kids back to school next week is pretty hype. We're actually going, I can't remember the last, I was about to say I've never been to a drive-in, but I'm not sure if I have or haven't. But drive-in, we're trying to go to that on the weekend. That should be a lot of fun. Definitely haven't brought my kids there. So, you know, one last little event there before we have our big draft on Sunday, then another one on Monday. So lots of stuff happening right there. Okay, and just another update, man. Like, I know that we're against each other here. We're not against each other, but, you know, I'm short, he's long on Meta. But I've just, yeah, of course it's fine. All of these, I mean, I'm taking profits here. All of these right now are shorts. We've been getting out at the bottom here. We already talked about that trade. And it's just, you know, getting out, lowering some of the risk right now because this market looks like it wants to pop. And the only reason I'm saying that is we've had the bottom. It tried to retest. Well, it did kind of retest right there. And then that's when we said goodbye to Tony. And then it went right back up to the upside. Just kidding aside, obviously that didn't affect it. But that was the bottom there, 12,100. I mean, it was just bouncing off of 12,100. It basically bounced off of it there. It got as low as 1287, 087. So yeah, it looks like it wants to go back up to the upside, hanging above the 50 period. Every time it goes back down, there's buyers back in. There's not even really huge red candles here. The last time it looked like the red was kind of in charge a little bit was back over here at about 1 o'clock when we made that new fresh low. Since then, most of the you can't see the candles here, so that's my bad, I guess. But there it is. Most of these candles that I'm talking about right here have been, you know, the bigger ones are the green buy side candles, right? So, you know, definitely getting more buys than sells. Most of the sells have just been bought up. So that's, oops, I don't need to do that. That's why, you know, we're getting out. We're getting lighter on this, but we're still trying to hold just in case that move does come in here at the end of the day. Remember, we do have those marketable imbalances. Just a quick update. We are 90 cents in the money on Okta right now. This short continues to work. It never ever gone against us. So unlike this Meta trade and not unlike AMD was great trading today. I mean, you already talked about that, but this Okta was a great move down there. And now we're starting to take out some of these levels again. Let's see. I was debating putting an order right here, 63.50, but my stop order is right upside right here, 64.38. So we're long right now we're short at 64.75. If we get out, it'll only be a 30 to 40 cent win. But hoping again that we can retest some of these downside moves on Okta. You know, this will be a pretty good take. Anything around 63, which would be the day's low. I mean, we have the day's low here as being 60. Let me just zoom this back out here. We did have. Okay, I mean, where we started, fine, but I'm looking at this low right there, $63. Let's see if that can come into play. I will not get out, but we'll watch to see if and when this happens. Do we get a bounce off of this 63.10 level? If we do, then we get out because we already have a wick bottom. So that's Okta coming back into play again. And what just happened, Meta just went back, back down to 35 or something there. We're short at 38. So now this is a 20-cent hit. Getting a little frustrated just holding on to this because nothing's happening. It's literally just barcoding down here on Meta. So we're gonna have to find names that are moving around. AMD was our best one today. We really did well on that. There's the short. We talked about the level, and I can now show you this level. This was where we took off from yesterday. So as this was coming down, and again, I'm not just going to start buying things blindly. We had some support down here at 81, right? So that's what we defended. It worked. Back up there to the upside. Then once that 82 broke and the momentum was to the downside, at this point we were below VWAP, we're below the 50 period, everything turning down. That's when we went short that 82 and was able to cash out. And then there's that take, like I said on our day there that we were going 80-50. There's our 80-50. We tried the long, didn't work, got out 80-50, and then I'm not sure what happened there. That might have been a break and then in and out again. But AMD, my number one stock today by far, and that's really what's holding my net up right now is AMD. And then watching out, I mean, I don't want to take another trade on that. I know you're long there. You're probably long off this 80 support, which has been fantastic. So, so that's been great. But yeah, here comes the 200 period right back down. So I think a great target. I don't know how much you have left, but this 80-80 kind of on days, not days high, but afternoon high could possibly get back up there if we test that 200 period. So all is well on that. Unfortunately though, this, is it Aurora? No, it's not Aurora. AUR is, it is Aurora Innovation. So there was a report earlier that had these guys possibly, in a deal or something with both Apple and Microsoft looking to bid on these guys, right? So it comes all the way to the upside. It's a nice move. But as you can see here on the 20 period, we've already been up here before and stopped around there. We took the high of the day out for a third. Then we took a third out for 20 cents. Now we'll just see if there's going to be any sort of last second talk about all of this. Okay, what is this? California sees high loads and temperatures through next week. Well, I mean, we can go over to oil quickly. This is the oil trade. It's just still bouncing off that $85, $86 mark. So we've talked about that. It was just at 97 or 98 last week. It's nice for the pump to see that the pumps are going to the downside on the gas prices. But yeah, oil right now seems to be working to the downside. I still like oil off of 85 support, give it down to 80 or so. I feel like it's going to be a cold winter. They got to make a deal, man. Russia's got to come through and watch out. We saw Nord Stream 1 and Gazprom and all that stuff being talked about today. So more news about all of that. It's going to be a cold winter if they shut off gas supplies. And honestly, until Russia and Ukraine get resolved, that could be the next leg up, by the way. Like if something were to happen there, here comes Meta going through 161. So I got to actually adjust my order because I don't have as many shares anymore. But there goes Meta back up to the upside. So yeah, looks like the longs are what's going to be in charge here in the afternoon. That Amazon trade's fallen back down a little bit, so maybe we've got to look at that. But I'm just going to adjust my order because, again, we're not as long or not as short as we were. We have been covering some here in Meta.
Yeah, looking at Meta, I mean, I don't even know where I'm going to cover this. I don't even have an order out. I have no real target. I mean, maybe 161.50 kind of feels right. But I also want to see, like, where are we going to break this range right now in the overall market? Like, we're channeling between 39.25 and 39.45. And if we run back to 39.50 and kind of look like we're going to break out, everything is basically going to move together. So, this is a quick rejection off of that. It's like make the high, quickly turn around. But again, it's like make the high, channel a little bit, then start to have that next leg up. This was the first leg, some sideways action, maybe we get the second. So, I'm going to let the market decide where it wants to go, and then, I'll react accordingly and take the rest off over there. Something I want to just share very quickly, one of my bad trades that I actually just took right now was the Tesla breakdown. I had that 270 level. I like the 270 level. And let me just quickly pull it up on the 10-minute over here to show you guys what I was looking at. The last time this was the first time that we went through 270, so it's a very good example right here. It's like we went through 270 and we dropped. We went down like 2-3 points, right? So I thought, I don't love it. I'm not going to take the size that I would have the first time around, but I'll give it a try. Maybe we get a breakdown. Maybe it goes 1-2 points in the money. Kind of feels like it could. You know, it's down 2.5%. It's channeling. Now we're getting the breakdown going into power hour. These are all the things I was telling myself, and I was like, okay, I'll take the short. And so, you know, I don't hate myself for the short. I tried it 2 times. The first time with more size, second time with half the size. And both times it was a loser. It was just a, you know, take the breakdown. We're in the money. We're out of the money. I get myself out. Then it happened again. Same kind of plan. You know, flushed and then popped and went back up and now is still like within that range. So for me, it's not, I don't want to say like a bad trade. Like I would take it over and over again, you know, sized accordingly, didn't damage anything, you know, looking good. But, you know, sometimes things are not going to work out the way that you plan, right? So, you know, have a plan for when things don't work out. You know, for me, it was an in and out. If it didn't work, whatever, just get myself out of it. You know, things are not always going to work. And, you know, as I'm saying that now, we're really selling off here now. So, maybe I'm going to have to manage this very quickly. Yeah, 2.7 to the downside, not getting breached. But yeah, going back to the point that I wanted to make here, the first time you go through a level, it's going to be good. Like it most likely will be better than the second time that you're going to go through a level, right? So going back to the Tesla idea, it's like the first time through 270, it's like take your shot if you want. If it makes sense for you, trade your book, but take your shot if you want and like let it go, let it work for you, make the money. Same as the NVIDIA trade from yesterday, that 140 breakdown. Take the shot, take the size, let it work for you, let it pay you. The second time around, it's like, it's the second time around. Everybody's on top of it. Everybody's looking at it. You know, so just be cautious of that. You know, the second, third time around, these things are not going to be as good as they are the first time around. So size accordingly.
About time, Meta. It's about time you get back down to that downside right there. We're cashing some out right now on that downside move. I mean, here we are right now. That was a false breakout there. And like, if I have to learn something, which I do every day, I mean, trust me on that, as you guys can see the way I'm trading. You know, it's like in these afternoons, and it's now happened over and over and over again. You get tested on key levels. They break above, they come back, they retest bottoms, they don't go, there's no finishing it off, right? Yesterday was one of the first days where that rally just continued into the close. So, I mean, I don't know, like there it is right there. The bulls tried to get going, and forget about Meta, I mean, it's all of these. It tried to break higher, didn't come in. I mean, these are all the shorts, these are all the printing. So yeah, we are gonna hit the sirens right now. We are in the money 35 cents on this Meta trade. It is coming back in. We are holding for a 160 break now. So yeah, we did take off some risk. Let's come get to the downside. We're sitting here at 160.04 to take a little bit more out. I don't care. I'm gonna dox myself, as Prad says. What does that even mean? Yeah. So as this comes back down into the downside there, you know, at 160.04 there, I saw there was something funny, and it wasn't Prad that put it on Instagram. By the way, follow us all at Trader Prad, at Trader TV Sean as well, as we go back and forth on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff like that. But someone said it was like about. No, I think it was Colbert. I think it was on the Stephen Colbert show where he did like a 30-second kind of rant about like how people talk, and it was like, you know, this is my opinion, no cap, this and that. And it was like all this stuff that's not actual the way people actually speak. But it was really, really funny when he did that. So I'm going to find that and try to tweet that out again. But yeah, let's just keep on going to the downside now on some of these names. Amazon failed at that 128. Let's see if Meta can come down, fill us at 160 flat. I mean, look, I'm just going to, honestly, I'm just going to punch some out there as we go out and just take out a couple levels, not a couple levels, but take something out there and get out, because like it's come back in. Obviously, we're going to be green on the day. If this was taking out that 161, that could have been a problem. It's faded back in right now. We still have more than 50% of our position on, hoping for this move to the downside. But again, we're not going to sit here and, you know, pretend like we don't see that this has been the bottom. Bottom there, bottom there, bottom there. This is where we really got in trouble. And this is what I mean about the closing show, right? It's like, if this happens at 10 a.m., you know, and again, it happened at 2. There's still lots of time. Like, it still should have kept going down, in my opinion. But it's like, look how choppy this is right now. The NASDAQ is kind of the same thing. Tests us on that breakout. We say no, comes right back down. And now the bottom's saying no too. So one of these, is it going to have to break? Probably not. It doesn't have to do anything. But we're here. I like the short heading into the weekend, and it's a good thing we just got some more out there. Like, there it is. Like, look, right back to the upside. So it's a good thing we kind of punched some more out there at 09 and 10 because this might just keep on diddling in said middling because that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, you know, and people asking, saying, oh, poor Luca, because literally, it's funny how that we're on the opposite side of the trades because it's working for me. I'm like, oh, this is working for me. I'm going to let it ride. And you're like, oh, man, like, what's going on here? This should be going down. Then it flushes down, and you're like, let's go. And I'm like, well, there goes the rest of my profits. But, you know, doesn't matter because I paid myself.
You didn't get out.
Well, no,
right.
because I was holding.
The trade's still on, baby.
Right, exactly. The trade is still on, but no. But being real here, it's like I took the trade. This is a scalp, you know, like easy kind of bounce play, whatever, and then hold the rest and see if it continues. But if it doesn't, to whoever was asking, like, where are my outs? The thing is, like, this is like 160, 80. It's very clear. It's like if we break down through 160, I'm out of that. If we break down through 80, pulling up this chart, if we break down through 80, I'm out of that too. And the beauty is, like, I'm still like 40 cents in the money on Meta, 30 cents in the money on AMD. It's like if I lose on the rest of the portion of this trade, like, I'm still going to be way ahead because it's like I took like, you know, 80-cent winners. So if I lose, it's like whatever, 5-cent loser, like 10-cent loser. So in no way will this like ruin my kind of weekend vibe that I'm excited about. One thing I'm asking myself, I was like,
what's going on this weekend? What's the weekend vibe for you? What do you
got
planned,
like, I think, I mean, you know, long weekend, extra exciting. I was looking at a cottage, maybe getting a cottage with my friends, but things are crazy expensive. And I was like, I don't know, like, do I really want to spend like, you know,
it's kind of hard to book a cottage in the long weekend the Friday before.
Well, no, but if you pay, you get it. You know,
there's
some places that are
cash rules everything.
Yeah, there's some places that are too expensive. Like, I got friends with cottages, so always backup plan, just go there. But you know, we're thinking, you know, maybe like you know, go to Muskoka, whatever. But yeah, you know, inflation, man. These prices are way up, and I'm looking, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, am I gonna like? I could go to Florida. I could go to like you know, the Dominican. I could for the same amount of money. So I'm like, so and for like a week as opposed to 3 days. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll take it easy this weekend. Just spend time with family. You know, maybe go to my friend's cottage, relax. You know, lots of beers, lots of excitement, lots of cigars, lots of spros, lots of pizza. Like, you know the deal. You know, going back quickly to PXMD here, I just wanted to say, like, is this going to break down or are we just going to hold? Like, I'm thinking like rug pull. Like, I was seeing people before were talking about it, and it's like, are we breaking down? Are we going to go back below VWAP and get that flush that I was looking for? Or is this thing just going to hold? I'm thinking like at the last second, this thing is just going to flush. And I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, these cannot halt in the last 20 minutes.
Incorrect.
Okay, so I don't know what I was thinking about.
So they don't. It's possible that they don't reopen.
Oh, that they don't
can halt, and then if they don't reopen on the final print, then they're not going to be reopening after that.
Okay, I see. Or it's a bigger band in the last 20 minutes instead of being like a 10% move. See, this is something that like it's like we don't really think about because it's like, especially you're not trading small caps, so like it's not something that's like on the top of your head. But you know, I want to say that in the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes, in the last 20 minutes.
Do you fish, by the way?
Do I fish? I'm not a huge fisher, but I go fishing.
Okay, I was going to say, because you had that hat on. People asking about it, they're saying, oh, you know, this guy's going to go catch some nice smallmouth bass there. Yeah, no, I love, you know, going on the water, learning. My friends fish all the time, so I feel like it's okay for me to wear the hat, you know? But, you know, lots of fun always. I got a friend who's always on the water, and, like, we go to the cottage. He's out there 5 a.m., 6 a.m., catching fish. Like, I'm just waking up. He comes back. He's like, ready for breakfast. We're going to fry all these up. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Okay, I got to sleep in there. But, yeah, you know, always a lot of fun. Love the long weekends for sure. Yeah, so, all right, pulling back, you know, I love the long weekends, same thing like I was saying. Big family time, lots of stuff to do, man. And yeah, have a great time anyways, and make sure you're back here on Tuesday, okay? Yeah, so that's good. We'll have some fun there, and I hope all of you enjoy your weekend. And just housekeeping note, we're not on the air on Monday, so we won't come here just to trade euro or anything like that. The markets are closed, both here in Canada. Happy Labor Day to everybody, and of course across into the U.S. down south there. So happy Labor Day to everybody. Have a good one, and make sure I'm not ending the show here, but just make sure you have a good time there. And here it comes back again, man. Am I going to get the 04 print here on Meta? We are now 60 cents in, like, we're 50 cents in the money, and I'm sitting here like pissed off. So I don't like, you know, I'm not sure. I got to get my priorities straight right here, because yeah, I ain't mad. I ain't mad at all. This trade is definitely working out for us. I'm just more mad that this thing's not at 158. That's all. I feel like we've hit this this really well. We got a good little spot here, and I'm thinking some downside pressure coming on Meta, but who knows, man? This market, like, look, we just took a piece out at 10 there again. So let's go. Give me that 04, and then we'll just chill out. Like, as if 06 goes basically reserve order there. 05, 04, 04, 04. We still don't have it. 04, like this is, see what I'm saying? There it is. Yes, sir. So now we get that 04. So now we can go WTF on that one. And now let's see what happens as the hot dogs fly around. And there it goes, breaking through that 160. Sorry about that, Luca, on that one. But here we come back down. Good job taking profit at the top. And you know what this goes to show? This goes to show, and again, I'm just gonna, just talk about trading in general here. Come on, let's go, Meta. Down through 85 now. Yeah, buddy, good trade on that one, but good trade by you too. And what I was gonna get on was that, remember what you're saying about Arun, right? Hold it. But see how you scalped some out there?
Yep.
To make sure that you got profit on that Meta trade. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. So let's throw up some pizza here for you, because that's what it's all about, man. It's just the same way as me. When I was getting nervous here, I mean, come over to the chart. When I was getting nervous here on Meta, which I was, I mean, you guys could probably see that. I mean, trying to be calm and cool here, but when we were getting a little nervous there, it almost broke to the point where I fixed my stop to adjust the shares because I was certain it was going to break, right? But notice that we did not average in. Once we sort of saw that this was happening, it was like, okay, we've made our bed and now we got to lie in it, right? And thankfully, we don't swim with the fishes here, Luca. And now we make that move back down to the downside here, and then there it goes. So we don't have on board, like I said, I now have a third of the position that I had initially. If this move had happened early, like right there, we would have made a lot more money, man. All of these averages in really just kind of saved us from not punching out of this, but at the same time, it does add to the problem if you go back up to the upside. But there it is, man. Crystal ball or not, this is an 8-ball. We made the short call, and now we're in it, and we're paying ourselves. So, I mean, that's what you got to do. So here we go to the downside, and we've just been taking some out, and we have a couple fills down here in the 80s.
Yeah, and no need to apologize because I don't even care. And, going back to the trade idea, it's like pay yourself, right? Especially as a day trader, pay yourself. Let some ride, and it's like, I look back, I'm losing, I'm like, I don't really care. It's like, you probably have way more size on the short than I have on the long left, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm back at break even, so I'm just looking at my board, it's positive, and I'm like, that's all that matters to me. So, the dream did not come through, and I did not make the extra $2 on the last portion of the position, but all good, no worries. Still looking at that
good,
PX.
baby.
Oh yeah, all good. PXMD over that, it made that pop above 6. Anybody who was watching it, volume interesting, right? It's like lots of volume, lots of selling, lots of hitting the bid. Dark pools going off, the buying just kind of stops. You got to imagine, I mean, like 601 is probably where the shorts have their stops, right? So runs to 6, breaks 6, triggers the stops, does a bunch of volume, but that's where, lots of size traded in the dark pool, now back below 6, and, the games on this are incredible. They're going to hold this. Maybe the rug is not coming. Maybe it is coming. It's on my screen. I'm watching it. I'll try to hit it if it does come. But, that 550 level is interesting for me, just that below VWAP. But, again, if it starts flushing from here and then we get to 550, I don't know if I want to, take 550 short for, an extra 30-cent move just because, the whiplash could be violent.
Ooh. We're getting those feels again here, Luca, right now. Down $1.10 now in the money on this Meta trade. So, look, I mean, again, great out there breaking through that 160, but this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Why didn't it break now? Why didn't it break there? But now, the second time it comes through to 160. Look what it does at 160 here. See ya, and it just not even a thought of retracing, right? So, there it is, a nice move. Wow, we just touched, wow, we are nicely in the money now on this trade as we look over at the P&L, but a nice little move down to 159.40 here and still continuing that move to the downside right now. So yeah, good little move there. Hopefully we can continue that back in the rest of the day and just hold this as there it is, man. The cement shoes are on right now for this market because it can't come up for air. It's just downside right now. Trying to get to that 12, man. The 12,000 isn't far away. You're now 50 points away from that. So let's see if we do get that momentum into the close. The market is flushing out right there. You guys want the bang? You can have it right now. That's fine. There it is. Bang on that one. But yeah, this is the problem. I don't want like I know that you had the long and I had the short. That's the one thing. It doesn't often happen to Neil and I don't really know why on that, but I'm glad that we were at least on the same symbol there, looking for the same things.
And we both made money. That's the
and we
important
both made
part.
money. I mean, that's yeah. You know what? Forget about where it is now. Let's just spin that, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. Yeah, forget about that, man. That's what it's all about. You're 100% right. So there I go. I'm going to get another piece out right there at 40 as it comes back down. That's the low right there. But it's just like, this is what we do. I mean, this is how we trade. Like, and I'm saying we as in, plural, but it's just, as a scalper, as, trying to take trades, this is sort of how I do it. Obviously, I wish I would have held for the whole thing, but hindsight is 20/20, and it's tough. How is my Aurora and Okta going? Good question there, Pit Panda. Pita Panda. You like Pita Pit?
I love Pita Land.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Pita Pit's not around anymore. It used to be around.
There's less of them, yeah.
There's
less of them. I just want to quickly comment. Chicken shawarma. Amazing,
yes,
amazing. Good protein, solid meal.
Shawarma is what it's all about, man. You get that little tzatziki in there, you get all that kind of stuff, man. I mean, forget about it.
Oh, there's the rug pull on PXMD. That was so fast. Is that a down halt?
Is it halting PXMD?
Oh my God, I think this thing's gonna halt right now.
Let me see, let me go over to it. PXMD. As by the way, we just like spin that again. Oh shoot, I don't want to do that because now you can't see PXMD. But there goes the market to the downside, man. We just took another piece out on Meta for $1.50 or $1.30, sorry. Here's PXMD kind of going ham a little bit, just with the volume. It doesn't look like where are we here? This is it right here, right? So it's not really making a dramatic move downside. I feel like my chart's not working here. Where is this? Oh, it's down here.
Yeah, no, it flashed just down
what?
right now.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
so
look at my screen just very quickly.
How come your chart looks like that?
Because I had it up the whole time, and I'm like, guys, is the rug coming at any point? And I'm like, I don't know if I want to take the breakdown. And this thing literally goes 580, and I look, it's like 534. I was like, oh my God, it's about to halt. So I'm like, okay, I'm taking this halt because this thing's dead. If we halt, like maybe we're good. But then it was a fake halt, got myself out. So that was a flat trade. That was good. And you know what? In the moment, totally forgot that we might not have opened. So that's actually good that I'm out of that. I'm going to take it off the screen now, and we're done with this name. We're probably dead. I mean, you get this rug pull. How many times do we see this? Small caps, end of day, they wait. Last 20 minutes of the day, going into the long weekend, boom, rug pull. And now maybe this thing, I mean, you had a lot of covering probably there. Like it was a fake halt. But yeah, if we break that recent low, like we're probably going to 5, right? We're probably going to 5, and then I mean, who knows, your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, this thing is probably just dead now, and probably just chop around.
So what's up to everybody? I don't have that market on close and balance, so I'm looking here. I'm going to Financial Juice. I don't see it on there. So if anybody else gets it, normally, oh, here it is right here, 9 minutes ago. So follow me on Twitter, by the way. We just cracked over 35,000 followers, so thank you so much to everybody on that. Here it is right here, early mock. This was 9 minutes ago. So we've had Financial Juice on the show, so we are not affiliated with them, but they are a great follow here on Twitter, so you can find out that. Here it is right here. So this is the number that Brendan normally gives us. It's 363 million to the sell side. If anybody, without trying to troll or anything like that, has an update on this, I'll try to keep it up, but if anyone has an update, please post it in there and we'll take it for what it's worth. And then here it is right there, 35,100. Thank you so much for everybody today. Here's a little description of AMD today as well, and that's where you can find, of course, the sticky note, and you can also find lots of fun stuff here on Instagram. Couple talks here. This is a lame joke about llamas. This was my daughter when she was born. She was 5.5 pounds and literally fit in my hands, and now she's a monster, as you could see all throughout here, High Park, everything. But anyways, follow us all throughout there. Enough of that as we're watching the market start to make some moves to the downside. Good cover, it looks. Again, back to, keep forgetting about Okta. Oh no, we still have that back in there. So this is why it's having a problem with the charting on Okta for some reason. But anyways, we're short right there at 64.75. It is right now. Let me call it up on eSignal. Sorry about this, guys. I can't look at it if it's down there. So OKTA, another one of those names that's flying around here today. A big mover yesterday, down 30%. So we are short. I'll show you where we are short on the chart. So we're short right here at 64.75. So we're short right here on this. It just did tick down to 63.70, 63.40. Sorry. I don't know if that's going to be a sell imbalance. Let's just put our bid here, 63.20, see if we can get that. The market is retracing back up, it looks like, on Okta. So as I'm looking at the real levels here, it's the same stuff on this chart as is on my others. So I'm going to get out if we break back above here. Maybe let's just use 64 as our out, man. I mean, we'll honestly take 75 cents on that. Let's go above VWAP. Let's go above the 50 period. And if we do that, then we'll get it out at 64 bucks. So that's going to be my out for Okta on the e-signal charting platform there. So that's what that is, and it's hard to see on here, but that's why I can't really trust those lines. But 64 bucks there on e-signal is where we're going to get out on Okta. And then honestly, that Aurora trade, it's 4 cents in the money. We cannot lose on this trade. I'm getting out when we take this out, but you could see this is sleeping and not going to do anything. So actually, thanks for bringing this up. We're already long here at 35. There's the out. When we reopened, we let it settle down, and we took something at 265 because we noticed that, hey, it's already been up here, and look at this level, 250. So take the profit there. It's already been up there, and let's just watch Aurora now. I think I'm just going to take it out at 42, but whatever. I mean, there's a 40 there. You know what? Let's just make sure we win. If you break 40, let's get out. So we're going to get out at 39 on this for a whopping 2 cents. But we've already taken 20 cents there. Or sorry, that was that's 30 cents clean. That's 20 cents. So if we get out at a break there, I won't be upset. But let's not let this winner turn into a loser.
Yeah, guys, this market really fallen off. So you were absolutely accurate in calling the short. And, hindsight obviously is 2020. But, let's just quickly bring out the meta long that I punched out for flat and now just kind of nuking. The AMD long that I punched out and now out of the money. These were winners, that you can make money on the long side on a name that is down 3% and dumped, right? You gotta capture a little bit of the move, and you make your money and things go well. But yeah, what a move to the downside. Apple testing that 155 level. SPY's at 390.5. Somebody's saying like, oh, what's going on with the 391 puts or something there. I mean, if you had those, you're in the money. And if you had those from the top, that was a good call, man. A solid call there. Everything just kind of falling off here. So, let's see what we get in the next 5 minutes. Definitely could be exciting. And yeah, that PXMD, I'm just going to casually take this off my screen. I tried one more short breakdown thinking maybe we flush even more, but this is me, I don't want to say greedy, but look at this, right? This is the move. I'm chasing the bottom. I know it's dangerous. So I actually got out for a break even here, I think. But yeah, it was worth the shot, just thinking maybe we go another 10, 20 cents. But we didn't. This thing's dancing around. It's now officially off my screen. And I'm watching the market. Maybe, if this selling is just going to continue, maybe we get a little pop in the next couple minutes. See if we could short something here. I don't know.
Yeah, we're only we only have 15% left of that meta short. We've already talked about our Okta, and now I have this meta problem again with the charts. But so it's going to be hard to show you. But our best out, well, I mean, not if I zoom in, I guess. There's a decent out. I mean, we got out at that 159.20. I mean, at some point, I mean, I'm going to fix these charts and figure out what's going on, because we can put on RSI and all that stuff, so you'll be able to see that it gets overextended at certain points. So, we're not just throwing out, well, I mean, it looks like I'm throwing out bids and offers. Most of the time I am, but sometimes you can be able to tell overbought and oversold conditions. So that's something definitely that a lot of traders will like to use, is the RSI indicator there. I did want to thank someone. I did see it up there. Hopefully it's not gone. There it is right now. What's up, Johnny? Thanks, Johnny, for sure, for the fiver there. How much does Spro cost? $2.50?
Yeah, like $3.
Yeah. So inflation there. Thanks for that. So we'll grab some shots there, but we need Apple to break past 170, 180 for the market to come up. I'm going to have a little bit of issues with that one, because if Apple goes back to 170, 180, that's back to all-time highs, and the market, would be back near that 42-ish hundred like we were before. Not to say that you're not wrong about that. I mean, maybe you mean there, Johnny, that in order for the market to, I guess, take on another sort of bull rally, you'd like to see Apple take out some of those highs. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, Apple's going to hold the key. But if you come back up here, just in the sheer weighting of Apple, 7% in the S&P and 12, and it's at its highest weighting ever right now, at least it was a couple weeks ago. In order for it to get back up here, the market itself is indeed going to have to rally. NASDAQ's going to have to go obviously north of 13,000, and the S&P is going to go north of 4,200. So if that does happen, then yeah, I do expect Apple to get back up here. For me, I mean, I would rather put it the other way. You know, in order for this market to really get hammered, and you guys think that this has been bad, I mean, what if Apple, the next leg to go down, Meta's already breaking, right? Like, you can see Meta here, and unfortunately, again, it's gonna be tough to see because it's changed over from Facebook, FB, the symbol, so we don't actually have that. But like, Meta right now is flirting with the bottoms, okay? Basically of the bottoms of back in June. So now, if Apple starts flirting with the bottoms of, like, switch stock, starts flirting with these bottoms again, then just imagine where Meta's gonna have to be, where Google's gonna have to be, and all of these names. It's gonna be a sad moment for a lot of our long-term portfolios if Apple does come back down to 130, but that is definitely not out of the question. And in fact, I told you guys, September 13th, be here real early and watch out, because that number that comes out at 8:30, if that inflation number is anywhere north of expectations, you are going to see some kind of a flush like we may have never, I don't want to say never seen before. Maybe you've never seen before, but like back in the financial crisis, man, there was no bids at all. And we've seen that happen even in this market. I guess I shouldn't say that. You've seen markets like that as well. We had the COVID market that Luca was part of. And then even that flush that was happening spring into the summer. So I'm very nervous about all of that. But all right, let's just go. Of course, I was talking about AUR and I didn't wind up getting out, so I need to do that. As these imbalances come through, we only have 2 more minutes here, Luca.
Yeah,
you know, busy, or?
2 more. Yeah, just a little bit. But
okay.
yeah, you know, if you're looking at anything else for.
Yeah, I can take it over. I'm gonna get out. There it is. Actually, we just got out at 40 there. I don't want to distract you, so we just got out at 40 there on Aurora. My trades are already in. I don't think, unless something comes up on the imbalance, I'll let Luca do his thing and talk about it after, because there it is. So we break through. I told you we'd get out at 40. We actually missed it because I didn't put the stop order out, but it just came back up and wiped out 40 and then rebuilt itself. So we got some out there at 40, end of that trade, and it was a good one for us on Aurora. We take the momentum to the upside there, let it fall back down on the first halt, hit it, 30 cents, 20 cents, 3 cents. So that was it. You can see the momentum is pretty dead on that one. When we talk about the imbalances, this is what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna actually get rid of the ARCA imbalance, which is right there. We're gonna hide that row. We push OK. So now we won't see that. We'll just see the NYSE names, because the NYSE ARCA, there's a lot of names on there that have like very low floats, and or ETFs that they'll come with millions of shares, but it actually won't move the market or the stock. It's just like an internal rebalance that happens on some of these books. So that's why we get rid of that. And we're just gonna show now NYSE and NASDAQ, and then at 350, I'll kind of put it like this so that hopefully we can see the stock. Maybe I'll just move this over so we can also watch the NASDAQ, and I'll move this over here. So I'll keep the stock up here. If Apple comes as a big sell, so really, I'm gonna focus on Meta. We've already covered, like I said, we only have about 15% of this position left. Would have been better to cover it all at the bottom, but let's hold it out. With only 8 seconds, the time here in Toronto is 3:49.55. 56, 57, and here we go. Now the imbalance is going to come out at 350. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, wow. NEOG there, whatever that is, there must be some rebalancing happening. There's Apple with the sell. We've seen Apple come with sell side before. I haven't traded it today, but let's go over to Apple quickly and see how this reacts. So there's Apple with the 1 million shares to sell. Here's the NASDAQ saying, hold my beer, Apple, and that's starting to go back up to the upside. Meta not moving on it. Apple right now, again, because of the chart, I can't really see, but I feel like Apple went, this is a 1 minute chart. Where are we right now? 155.40. So we're all the way down here. I feel like my charts aren't even working, but Apple right now into that 1 million doesn't seem to do anything. So I don't know what that total number was, but some trades on here, it doesn't seem like too interesting. It would just be the Apple sell side 1 million shares. But again, it was 5 million at one point, right? So you can see that. 4 plus 1, 5, but they've already paired it off. So let's see if Apple has some more movements now down to that downside.
Yeah,
okay?
you know, I'm just you know, trying a few things. I'm thinking maybe the short's going to be good here, but I guess not. You know, try just like on that kind of sell imbalance coming off, you know, trying like a low take Apple short. The thing is this, right? We're going into a long weekend. We got lots of volume coming into the close. Anybody looking at this, like, look at the relative volume in the past, like, call it 30 minutes relative to, like where we were before, right? So it's like lots of volumes, lots of sharp moves. Somebody in the chat before was actually saying, I like the close better than the open. And the thing is like, it's two different beasts sometimes, right? You got to kind of, get comfortable with what you're looking at, what you're trading. Understand the, the type of moves that are going to come in. The open is not really going to feel the way that the close does, right? But overall, maybe we get that push back to 155. It held very, very nicely at 155. Like, I think the bottom was like I want to say like 154, 96-ish area. So, held very nicely and just kind of like a full rip 50 cents to the upside. But that 150.50 area, like going into 150.60, kind of feels resistance, like short term, like maybe we go down. But again, got to remind myself, like there's 8 minutes to go, So it's like, understand the move, like what potentially could happen. And again, long weekend, people in the chat from before saying, made my daily goal, now I'm chilling. I love to see that. Make your money, chill, lock it in, enjoy the long weekend, and come back fresh going into what I claim to be the start of the quarter, because obviously this week you got everybody on vacation, even Brendo running to vacation, Arun on vacation. I'm sure traders everywhere, taking the last couple weeks of August off, even going into Labor Day, and then see what we get for the start of the quarter.
Yeah, that's what happens when you sign up late to the vacation signing. Neil takes it off, Brendo takes it off, but I don't actually like, don't tell this to my family, I actually don't really like taking vacation. I like taking them to relax and everything like that, but my mind is always on the market, so that's what that is. But all right, so good little day today, man. I mean, look at that rebound in the market. At least we only were down 1.7%, but still a nasty turnaround today. It was cruising. And remember when we had this guy in the middle here and the market was up 1% and I said I'm still not turning him over? I mean, there it is, man. The Bears come charging out today. And talk about the Bears, man. We have the Chicago Bears. I don't know if I'm going to draft any of those guys, but I do have David Montgomery for you guys there in my keeper pool. So we'll see if Khalil Herbert there, can take over his position or not for the running back. I don't know. We'll see. Probably a timeshare over there. All right, Apple to the upside again, starting to go. I guess that short's not really in. We did watch Meta there. It did come back in. We got out of it. Pretty much all of our trade right there at 87 when it faded back in right there. So a couple good outs on that Meta short, man. Really happy that how we traded that. That just ticked up there. A nice downside move into Meta there, 159.93 with only 4 minutes to go. I did want to give a big shout out. Someone did share the market balance. DJ there, thank you so much. Vale Longa, 2.3 billion to sell. And there was another guy out here. Here it is. Yeah, RSQ1 boss. What's up, man? Thank you so much for that. That is correct. 2.3 billion sell side. It did come up, and then and this is why it's a difficult trade. To look at that number exactly, because even though it came a sell side, look what the market did. The market just kept on going upside. So sometimes that's what's going to happen, and that's the trade, right? So we're only at 1.1K. I want to give a big thanks to Luca again for coming out today. Let's get that up to 1.5. Let's do that. If you can hit that real quick, 4,300 people watching right now. Let's get that up. Wow, there goes the market. Just a rocket ship to the upside on a 355 turnaround. Let's see, this is normally what happens. 355 hitting now. So you'll see normally a little bit of a change here in these imbalances, and that's exactly what you're seeing. I don't see any more whatsoever Apple on there, but I just did see a big dude came into the building there. Oh, there's Apple. Apple now only 200,000. There it is right there, 300,000 to sell. You see what Apple just did? Ripped off faces there to the upside. Unbelievable. Like,
could have been my face.
Could have been, and that's the thing. But
I'm out.
But you're out, and that's, you can only go on information. Like, yeah. I was looking at that, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, sell, okay, here we go, might be a sell again, but no, that came right back in, and now it's not even on here, and now we just wait, this NBEV and NEOG. Sometimes there's some share restructuring happening, or a buyout, or something like that, so that might be what's interested here on NEOG to the buy side. You see that's going to the upside. I'm only saying that because I really don't know what this is. WFC as a sell. Again, nice move down, but even though since that imbalance came out, it's just kind of going to the upside. So it doesn't look like much happening. Check out Snapchat today. Great short, and this should have been on the sticky note, but wasn't. I feel like we would have, I'm gonna move this. I feel like we would have got stopped out there. Actually, no, we wouldn't have, because we wouldn't have had it up there. That's 1180. We would have had it against that 1160, against that high. Let's watch out for Monday. If Snapchat ever wants to stick up near 12 again, I feel like we got to smash that short. I'm just gonna cover this meta. It's not, I mean, I have a smaller position. Maybe I'll hold this. I don't know. Maybe we'll hold this. Like Meta just went all the way up to 160.50 again and fell back down. All right, I mean, I still have shares on that I can kind of piece this out. We'll take an 18 fill here, there it is, and then we'll see about getting the rest out maybe around here, 160, 159 flat. But yeah, a good job today, man. I think we did a really good one. 1.2K. Hit the like button for Prad, Sharif, Luca, myself, and hit it for Brendan, man. Brendan, travel well. I hope you're not watching this because he's probably at the airport right now. So be well, my friend, and we'll catch you back next week. And then Neil's back. Neil's back on Tuesday. He's going to be at Brendan's desk, and hopefully you're able to come back, which you are, hopefully.
I'll be here.
And be here,
Yeah.
and we'll trade together one more time. So thanks to Luca, and thanks for everybody for watching. It's been a good trade today in the afternoon. We made a little bit of money there, but still, you know, our best trades were those AMD ones from the morning, and we'll look to do that again.
Yeah, for sure. You know, wrapping up the day. Hopefully everybody had a great day, keeping the profits, enjoying life. You know, long weekend, cold beers, nice cigars, hot coffees, hot spros, depending if you don't drink. And yeah, you know, enjoying everything. And
So what's your beer of choice?
MGD.
MGD. Good,
If you're
yeah.
watching this, MGD, feel free to sponsor me. I drink your beer all the time, and I vouch for it. So, you know, if you're watching, send them over. And yeah, you know, even to the other time, whoever sent the Heinekens over,
ooh, that
like,
was
thank you.
nice.
If you're
Thank
watching
you so
that,
much.
thank you so much. That was solid too. And to anybody that sends anything, like, that's awesome. Like, feel free to just keep them coming. You know, like, that's.
I mean, how about, I don't have a problem asking our fans. I mean, or for other traders, fans of you, I guess. It's funny because, you know what, I had my brother-in-law over last night. I think I was saying this on the show, and we had MGDs. Because I opened up the fridge, I had MGDs in there, and I had MGDs and Heinekens. That's it. I asked him what he wanted. He said MGD. Gets what he got, and that was that. So yeah, good call on that one. And yeah, look, if Luca's made you any money, we can drink an MGD on the show, man. Send it.
Yeah,
we can get a
for sure.
6-pack if you guys want to send that through. Marketing at tradertv.live, or you can just Google tradertv.live, and you will get our address. Send them through. We'll see what how Luca acts with a beer in him with trading. If you want to.
I think I'll be the same.
I think
probably
you'd be
be
the
more
same
calm.
as well. You know, I mean, what the hell? I'll just go out and get the MGDs myself. But that would be a great treat. And we could shout somebody out on the show if that does happen. We've gotten cookies. I mean, you saw all that.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza's been delivered
Yeah.
here, man.
Yeah.
Heinekens. But, I mean, what a great show we had. We had Tony on for a bit. That guy dropped some knowledge there talking about U.S. dollar strength and whatnot. So a little bit of Forex talk, a little bit of snow talk, NVIDIA new position for my man back there. And we now only have 45 seconds before this day comes to a close. I'm still sitting here out near 160 on the bid for Meta, trying to get a little last second move down here. But yeah, good job here with only 30 seconds left. Thank you for everybody watching today. It's been a good show. Lots of guests, actually, well, no guests. We just had Tony on, but we'll be back next week. Hopefully they're all back. We had Daniel Shea stepping out, and then we had Tony from Financial Juice. Hopefully he'll be able to come through. Oh, we had Michael Nosh this morning. So again, a great friend of the show. Thank you, Michael, for that one. And here comes the countdown. I'm gonna have to get out of my Meta. It's little Rip City there at the end of the day, which is fine. We'll get out at 33 with only 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it's Tony. Thank you. And that closes out the week. Let's hit the wheel right now to see where are we gonna wind up next week. Is it gonna be up or down? Regardless, that wheel always comes up jackpot. So it will not tell you up or down. It just says jackpot on that. Is Brendan's screen loaded or nah? We'll do something else. Signed out. Signed out. So thanks for that one, Brendo. So that won't be working, but we can quickly review it now. The ES, I'll just go over the few because I have the ES up right now. The ES down 1%, down 1.8%, and the NASDAQ you can see right here down 1.48%. That's a done deal. We write that down. Thank you so much. What was that? Yes, sir. Thank you, Fahad, for that one. We actually have a new format for the evergreens. So on the weekend, we will be having some more evergreens posting out. And what we mean by that is we have our educational videos, some topics that we have coming out. We did a new format. So check those out coming out this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Check those out. And then we have the week in review, or the week coming up, also being dropped this weekend as well. So Taylor Conway, that's cool, man. Let us know what day. Tell Brad. We'll get some beers on Tuesday. We'll celebrate being back. Thank you, Taylor. I am sticky noting that so that we don't forget who you are, and thank you for that super chat. We will grab a couple of beers there and if not, Brad, I'll go myself and go get some of those. So thank you so much, Taylor, for that. That means a lot to us. But hey, what a great day it was. Thank you again for coming through. Thanks to Michael Noss from Trade Ideas. Thanks to everybody that's part of our team. Brendan, have a great trip. Neil, enjoy the current trip that you're on. And I'm going to dummy you in the fantasy pool on draft day. He's not watching, so I can say that. We'll share our teams and he already mentioned to me right now he wants to make a deal, so we'll see if we can get a deal going on that one. Lots of fun. Do you do fantasy sports?
No, because my friends smoke me every time. So I'm like, I'll just stay out. I'll watch. I come for beers, no
We've
problem.
been in a high school, so I don't know if people can tell, but me and Neil are out of high school now for about 5 years. We're in a high school, and that's obviously not the case. We're both over 40 years old, not Luca, thank God for that. You will hand the keys over to you for this show later, but sure. We've been in the same football pool now since high school. So that's like 20 years. It's a dynasty pool. Wow. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I'm hosting the boys over at my pad. Neil obviously went to go visit one of our friends in Dallas, who's also part of the pool. So that should be a heck of a lot of fun. Good luck to everybody this weekend that is also drafting. It should be a really fun one. Enjoy yourself, and no matter what, be safe. So for everybody here at Trader TV Live, thanks to Prad, not there. Thanks to Sharif. Thanks to Luca. Thanks to Michael Noss for coming through today. Thanks to Rob, who was working the 1s and 2s. Thank you to Fahad. Great job, man. Fahad's also helping a lot with editing, and man, that editing has gotten top notch. So thank you, Fahad, for that. Thank you to Lucas there. Thanks to Maggie for all the work that she does behind the scenes. Shout out to Katrine as well. Who am I missing? Liz. Shout out to Liz. Running around here like we can't even get a hold of each other. She's so busy. So let's wrap this up. The trade of the day is coming. It's AMD again. We've had a big week here, and I want to thank everybody. So from everybody here at Trader TV Live, we'll check you at 8:30 on Tuesday. Ciao.
Ciao.